You're finished, beast! I always win. Not this time! Take that! You'll pay! Hey, Kamala, you big ugly fuck, look what I got. You're fired. Get out.
Wow, that was pretty cool. At first, when I saw that, I thought it was Mike, Big Mike. I didn't think it was Kamala. But yeah, what's up? Free Bella. Yes, Bella has been freed thanks to our good friend Brian Ogden with 5 Jim Tells You memberships. Thank you so much, Brian. That means we are now just $70 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. That's right, folks. The way the show works, it works on your generosity. Let's see who got those memberships. It says that Nana Geek 1 received one. Booch 1018, Aaron Meredith 2410, Gina WY19, and OMI tired. Oh, Miss Tired. I don't know. OU Miss Tired. I don't know. Somebody's tired. Thank you so much to all you people. That's right. And seeing as how Brian gifted 5, I'll gift 5 memberships. That's what I'll do. I'll do some I'll give 5 memberships right now tonight to people. There you go. Those are gratis on the house. It says Robert Thunt received one. This Gets Dark Fast. Matthew Coffey, Thoroughly Tossed, and Pete 77779 all received complimentary Jim Tells You memberships from me, Jim. That's how I likes to do. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's see who's here. Wow, lots of people here. Ooh, big people here. Everybody. Right. Sanglant was here. What's up? How you doing? Iowa Backyard Camp says, have a great show. Dusky Dawn is here. CF Rob, how you doing? That's right. Please remember to hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please remember that, the show works 9 p.m. Central Time. Yes. I was going to go at 9 Eastern, but the Central Time seemed like a better way to go. So yes, pay the toll. on it with the like. If you're reading the comment, go back and hit the like button. That's right. What's up, Joe? You're gonna run out to the store? That's right. Thanks for coming back. Mr. Sigi Sean, hey, how you doing? None of your business. Great to see you. Q Ed Was, you too. Great Eagle says a citizen's arrest in Minnesota is a legal provision that under a private non-police individual to detain a suspect under Minnesota State Statute 629.37, a private person can make an arrest under 3 circumstances. That's awesome. Is someone going to arrest the governor? I hope so. Why does the UK have a USA Declaration of Independence when there's in our country? It was confiscated from a ship. We're going to get into it. A ship that was taken over it was confiscated. Past your bedtime, left a like. Well, thank you, Delays Obvious. Sorry about that. Looks like these 3 criminals in office, the governor, AG, and senator, are above federal law. No, they're not. They're not. Glad to be number 13 to smash the like. Want to thank to hear pride and territory. Yeah, so you're doing. Not that Karen. Hey, happy Independence Day, Eve. That's right. There will be a show tomorrow too for everybody. So if you're gonna come and check it out, maybe come by tomorrow, check it out. There will be a show tomorrow evening after the fireworks are over. I wonder why Jim won't give me a wrench. What the F? Well, misdemeanors and infractions, felonies committed in the presence of felonies, not presence at all. I'm ready for Jim to tell me. Howdy, everybody. Happy birthday, Eve America. Yes, fake news. Jim's late. Must be playing some sparklers. No, I was going to the bathroom. Sorry about that. I had a tinkle before I start the show. What's up, Jay Schwartz? Great to see you. Good evening. S.E. Gatlin. Great to see you, Sherry. That should free Bella. Bella is free. She is. Sylvia's here. So is Gypsy. What's up? YouTube is run by the left side. Yes, it is. Happy Independence Day, Phil. Great to see you. Gundam's got a story. We're going to check that out in a second, Gundam. Yes, gift subs are randomly assigned to YouTube, not the gifter. Yeah, it's kind of terrible how that works. So, and then Jim gifted 5. That's right. Who else is here? Sorry about this. Tom Bravo, happy 4th, shipmate. Hey, thank you so much, Tom. Catherine K's here. What's up? How you doing? Great to see you. Steve Hilliard, great to see you. Awesome. Technically, Independence Day is 3 days, 2nd to the 4th. Okay. Paul says hi from Green Lake, Wisconsin. Well, thank you, Paul. Hey, everybody, this is Paul. He's the guy who's got that channel that has all the the bird feeders and stuff and the weather stuff. So that I asked you guys to go follow. So if you haven't followed Paul's channel, go give him a sub. Trying to help him out there. Maybe get him up past 500. Get him a little monetization so he can earn some money off his nice stream he's got working. But thanks for being here, Paul. Thanks for checking it out. What's up, Duck Fat? Good to see you. Steve says, I don't need a wrench, but I could use a screwdriver. Well, have a few. Hey, thanks to you, Gypsy. Thank you. Got another story from Gundam. We'll check that out. I was going to share your Facebook stream, but it's hidden. It shouldn't be hidden, Lurchlinger. It should be there. It's just I had to share it out. It should be there now. Let me see. It should be there now. It should be there now. I swore. Yeah, it should be there now. Should be there now. It's for whatever reason, I don't know. I can't. Facebook only goes to like friends only, and then I have to share out another link to get it to go everywhere. What's up, the Narrow One? Narrow Way, how you doing? Doc, great to see you. So yeah, everybody knows how the show works. It operates for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, until we hit the goal, which the goal is $100 in total across all platforms: YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, becoming a member, or gifting memberships on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, or Twitch, along with Locals Coins and Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and Super Tips. We add it all up. When we hit 100, we add an extra hour to the show. And then each additional $100 that comes in, we add an additional hour to the show. So the show could be, as long as you guys want it to be. It could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 10, 12, 14, 16, 27, 36. You guys name it, as long as you want it to be. And then as an added bonus, when we hit 50, we activate Bellavision. But if somebody's so generous that they donate $25 or greater, we automatically activate Bellavision for the evening. And since Brian Ogden was so generous to donate 5 gifted memberships, that automatically activated Bellavision for the evening. And then Brian comes in for another 10. Says July 2nd was a Lee resolution to separate from the British. John Adams. Well, thank you. That means, folks, we are now 60 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much to everybody. That's his website. If you just go to Paul Couture 5077 on YouTube, that's his website, Jay Schwartz. That is his website. So let's get into the first news. Well, let me do this first here. Let me do this. I gotta pull up a couple of these stories here from Gundam just to have them just in case. The just in case series. Well, let's get into this first news story of the evening. What do you say? Will Pat Hacker make it this evening? I don't know. I told her what time and stuff. She, it might be too late for her. I don't know. But no, she's on I think, is she on the West Coast? I can't remember. Well, yes, Bella. Bella is free, Doc, and thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Wow, that means now we're just 30 away. That's right, just 30 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. And Anne-Marie Aylin, BY9FL, received a gift of membership. Lord of D's Huts, Carolyn, Terrorboy, and only 4 popped up that time. That is weird. Huh. Sometimes that does that. Why does that do that, YouTube? That is weird. Why does YouTube do that sometimes? Thank you so much. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by, Mr. Clue Battery. Go check out Paid to Shop Canada all here. Well, thanks, Great Eagle. With that, too, folks, that means we're now just $28 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Yeah. YouTube is skimming off the top. It always does. It always does. I hold on to the other stories for now, waiting for President at Rushmore. Yeah, he's supposed to be there today. So let's see here. Bombshell IG report says the Secret Service was clueless in searching the internet for the shooter's rooftop location during the Butler assassination attempt. Can you believe that? Yes. They're saying that a report found out that there was 102 warning signs that the Secret Service ignored or just didn't pay attention to that led up to the attempted assassination attempt against President Trump. The level of incompetence is beyond belief. A newly released DHS Inspector General report, OIG, has dropped, and it's another devastating indictment of the U.S. Secret Service's catastrophic security failures on July 13, 2024, so about 2 years ago, where Thomas Crooks nearly assassinated President Trump. The most jaw-dropping detail, while local law enforcement was in a full panic mode searching for the suspicious person with a rangefinder who had climbed onto the roof. Yeah, they were searching for him. And they were checking the internet to figure out where he was. The Secret Service counter-drone operator was literally searching the internet to try to figure out where the building was after his equipment failed. Inspector, according to the IG report, Secret Service completely failed to detect Crook's nearly 9-minute drone flight over the Butler rally grounds because the agency's only counter-drone operator was inexperienced and his equipment malfunctioned. Crooks flew his drone from approximately 3:51 p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m., using it to capture aerial views of both Trump's stage and the rooftops from which he would later launch his attack. Yeah, he just ignore the people on the ground yelling and screaming and pointing. Yeah. The report reveals the operator did not even discover the equipment failure until the morning of the rally because he'd failed to test the system the previous day, despite agency policy demanding that he does that. Even more astonishing, the operator only received 20 minutes of informal instruction before being assigned to one of the most high-profile security operations in the country and never shadowed an experienced counter-drone operator previously. Yes. Thank you for the gifts. I heard today that the Secret Service guy right in front of the flag is now the head of Secret Service. What say you, Jim? I'm not a big fan of, I don't know. Trump obviously liked that guy. I don't know. I don't know. To me, that's kind of letting the fox into the hen house, personally. That's my personal opinion, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Don't let it go to your head. What the F, all right? Don't let it go to your head. Mm-hmm. Wait. Hey, Lisa. Thanks for being here. Great to see you. So after discovering the malfunction, the lone operator spent hours attempting to troubleshoot it. The report details a remarkable sequence of events. The operator first called the equipment vendor shortly after noon, but could not reach technical support. Hey, what's up, Gene Lee? How you doing? Are you watching Trump tonight? I believe that as soon as he starts speaking, Gundam's going to shoot me the link. And what's up? ZG says Bongino warned against that guy, the guy that leads the Secret Service. We'll see. Keep your enemies close, Ken Krause. Well, that's what they say. Keep them close. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Mm-hmm. The system was not restored until 4:29, nearly a half an hour after Crooks finished his surveillance attack, surveillance run of his attack route. The OIG used a 3D model to confirm the drone's path and what Crooks could see. The report further notes that the operator ultimately learned that a broken Ethernet cable had disabled the system. He replaced it with one borrowed from President Trump's audiovisual crew. According to the IG, he had experienced technical security division personnel been assigned. The malfunction likely would have been resolved before Crooks was able to launch his drone. Kind of surreal watching a dude in a Chair Force Blues playing the guitar riffs with Sweet Child of Mine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. According to reports, Secret Service did not establish a joint communications room with local law enforcement. Instead, they set up their own room with the Pennsylvania State Police, while local agencies operated from a separate mobile command center 257 yards away. Well, that's pretty far away. Hey, Sweet Daydreams, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by tonight. So the result is local law enforcement communications received 102 radio transmissions about an increasingly urgent search for a suspicious person, later identified as Crooks. The Secret Service communications room received only 5 phone calls and 3 text messages. They never received the critical transmission stating the suspect was on the roof with a long gun. When local law enforcement called this, so this is basically like Keystone Cops. Like Keystone Cops, nobody knew what was going on. Nobody could figure it out. They absolutely cleared the way for the shooter, hence the perfect photo of the bullets whizzing past Trump's head, all planned. Honestly, I think they planned for Trump's head to explode on camera. I think that's what they wanted. Jim tells you, you and your mods can ignore me here. What do you mean, ignore you? What are you talking about? I'm not ignoring you. What does a ultimate rebate platform that gives you cash back to the memberships? Okay. I don't know. Nobody's ignoring you, Great Eagle. I can't pull up every coming up soon, the White House. All right, thank you. Can't pull up every chat that everybody puts up. I've got a show to do, So, multiple detail members told investigators that if they'd been warned about the person, they would have delayed President Trump's speech or removed them from the stage. They had identified 5 major missed opportunities: the drone detection failure, communication failure, insufficient personnel, failure to secure the area outside the perimeter, failure to block the line of sight. I mean, these are all like basic things. The Secret Service concurred with all 7 OIG recommendations. Some are already closed, others remain open. Wow. Yeah, Breitbart. Secret Service missed 102 radio calls about Trump's would-be assassin at the 2024 Butler rally. Wow. So local law enforcement made 102 radio calls about the assassin lurking, taking firing positions. The Secret Service did not hear a single one of them. Yeah, please understand, Jim has crafted a script planned. How about them Bears? The Bears! Yes. No, maybe no one answered because they simply did not know the answer to your question. Yeah, I didn't know what he was even asking. I don't know what he's trying to, Tony, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Thank you, Tony. 1776. Thanks for being here. I hope you have a very wonderful Independence Day weekend, celebrating the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence. Thank you so much, Tony. With that, folks, means we are now just $10 away, because I'm going to round that up. We're now just 10 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Tony. Yes, thank you for supporting the show. I think we need to go back through prior Trump rallies to see if they were purposely leaving holes in his security. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Somebody should probably do that. Somebody with the experience, the expertise to look at the placement and to see if they were purposely leaving pathways open. Yes, 100%. So the Secret Service missed opportunities to detect, prevent, and disrupt the assassination attempt. Yeah. So yeah, we went through all this stuff. They didn't share intelligence about long distance threats to Trump with the Pittsburgh office or lead site agents, resulting in insufficient personnel. Like, I thought there was personnel, but they were pulled off for what's her face for Jill Biden. CF Rob says, "Hey Jim, Bella, and everyone else, happy Independence Day 250. This is our Independence Day." Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Rob. And with that, folks, we're now just $5 away, just a quick 5 spot away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. And then, does anyone here agree with President Trump should put his face on Mount Rushmore? Not yet. I don't think President Trump should put his face on Mount Rushmore. That's not supposed to be anything that no. If the country becomes great again and everything goes great in 15, 20 years, the future generations might want to put his face on there. But that's not something that should happen right now, today. No, that's something for future generations to decide, to look back on history and make that decision. That's my opinion. You guys can disagree. Ryan Ogden comes through, says, "Let's just get an hour."
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Well, thank you so much for all that, people. That means with that 10 now, we are just $95 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. So thank you all so much. Looks like we might go a little late tonight, which is fine with me. I've had plenty of sleep. I can go all night. Thank you so much. We're now 95 away from adding a second additional hour. Rodney says, "It's horrible that I'm afraid to find my flag because the moron's doing something stupid." Yeah, we don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. That would be terrible. Yes, please remember to hit the like button. Please like the stream, share it out, tell your friends. It's the only way we can make it grow, more people to show up. Hey, Michelle, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Nice, beat me to the punch. Yes. It's not an asset. I'm not an asset protection expert, but I know enough to not leave a perfectly good sniper spot 130 yards away from the target unmanned. Yes. Look at the video I sent you. Okay, we'll do. The Dems would blast it off if they did. Yeah, they would. Trump renamed Mount Rushmore to Mount Epic Fury. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to look at this video. Let's see. See it? Oh, okay. All right. I guess we'll check this out. All right. Ready? Alrighty.
We are Mount Epic Fury, the greatest, most beautiful mountain ever. Epic Fury forever.
Well, I mean, Pete Hegseth has never been a president, so he'd have to be president first. Anything on burning China flag here in USA yet, Jim? I don't know what you mean. Like people burning the Chinese flag or U.S. Chinese flags? I mean, what do you? I don't know. I don't know what that means. We have 2 LED U.S. flags, one front, one back. That's cool. Mm-hmm. All right. So the agency remained unaware of radio transmissions as local law enforcement seemed to be doing its job in detecting the threat. So local law enforcement did its job and the Secret Service just failed. We found Secret Service only received 5 phone calls and 3 text messages about crooks. As a result, Secret Service did not alert President Trump's protective detail about concerns of a suspicious person. Now, there should have been like a one communication thing, like a one like main radio signal, something that would have everyone could have got it, that someone could have got on and been like, whatever, with some kind of code word, and that people would have immediately went into action. So nobody is the Department of War fighting for President Trump. No, I know. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Joe with 2 says, happy birthday, America. Happy birthday to us. Yeah, happy 250. That's right. Thank you, Joe. With that, folks, that means we are now just $93 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you all so much. HJ Remy, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, so great. I'd rather have Trump in Iraq than one Obama library. Have Trump in Iraq than one Obama library. I gets it. So they're still singing and dancing. Still no Trump yet at Mount Rushmore. They're singing like rap songs and stuff. The Air Force Band. Why did they dispose of the body so quickly? Probably because they didn't want people to find out what drugs he was on. Like they say, like, did you ever see, like, I don't know, did you ever see the movie, The Bourne Legacy? The Bourne Identity was a great movie. Bourne Supremacy was okay. Bourne Ultimatum, Bourne Legacy was really good because it basically shows you how a government could wind somebody up and send them off to do something, like when the guy went on that crazy shooting spree inside the laboratory. Just saying, I don't know. I think it's stuff's possible. I think that's what the government can do. I think they can. President Trump signed executive order in burning U.S. flag here. What about other flags? I don't know. You mean against burning U.S. flags? I think the Supreme Court already ruled on that, believe it or not, the Supreme Court said burning a flag is, as long as it's your flag that you own, you can burn it. That's what the Supreme Court said. I don't know. It is what it is. They didn't want us to know what the CIA did to him. Yeah. MK Ultra type shit, probably. So Crooks was fatally shot by a law enforcement sniper as he sprayed the stage with bullets while Trump was speaking. In a hail of gunfire, a rally goer was killed and 2 attendees were injured. Yeah. Corey Campatori. What's that? Who? Lisa Falsacker? Oh, Crooks. Crooks' body. They disposed of his body. They washed everything down. They didn't preserve any of the scene. Like, that's not how you're supposed to handle a crime scene. You're not supposed to come in with hoses and wash it down. You're supposed to gather evidence and preserve everything. Oh, yeah, this is a confusing headline. Proof Katrina failed fixing NOLA. Yeah, New Orleans Kangaroo Court issues arrest warrant for Louisiana's Attorney General. Yes, it was because we're going to get into it. We have this story. But the Supreme Court of Louisiana has already stepped in and said, you can't do that. You can't charge. You can't have a kangaroo court and a special prosecutor bring charges against the Attorney General of the state for telling you guys you're breaking the law and to stop. If the commies want to burn the flag, let them. Makes them easier to find. My older brother, wife, maiden name is Crooks. No. Ultimately, although members of law enforcement communications were increasingly concerned by the presence of the individuals, Secret Service communication room did not identify Crooks as an urgent threat before he fired the shots, which is crazy. I'd love to see Trump on Mount Rushmore. Roosevelt was Mount Rushmore due to industrial progress in the 19th century. However, how about Trump on Rushmore to usher in Space Force? Yeah, it could happen. That could happen. They had no autopsy, cremated Anthony Scalia. I'll never believe it was just plain heart attack in his sleep. Yeah, it was weird. They found him with a pillow on top of his face. Just saying. It's kind of weird, isn't it? I'm so out of the news loop I have to work a normal job now. That is what it is. Secret Service decision makers responsible for protecting President Trump while on stage were never made aware of his presence at any time. That's crazy. So, that's basically saying thing here. Secret Service member was Googling rooftop locations of would-be assassin. Crazy how the average citizen noticed how shitty security was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, except Secret Service, just like an average citizen noticed a shooter was going to the roof in Pennsylvania. Or maybe the Secret Service is purposely terrible when convenient. Yeah. Oh, what's this? Let's see. Is that Jimmy Fallon?
I love that they have like two random chicks holding the front door open. We're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like she's fine. Just like they might as well put a doorstop in. Like, they put up a doorstop and a scarecrow. Don't fuck with this guy.
Wow. Interesting. I hate this.
The breach in security that threatens the life of the United States. I'm certainly not going to blame a hotel for that breach of security. It has to be obviously then it falls on the Secret Service and federal agencies because that is their job. Okay, is to protect the president. It's not the job of the Hilton Hotel to protect the president. And so, again, it all falls again on the Secret Service. Not to say that the men and women on the Secret Service that stopped the would-be assassin from entering the ballroom didn't do a great job. But my question is, how in the world?
No. As far as I know, there was nothing that happened. No, this is just the report finally came out. The Office of the Inspector General report came out about finally, almost 2 years after the Pennsylvania shooting at Butler. Finally, the report comes out saying, yeah, the Secret Service fucked everything up so bad. Podcaster Wendy Bell went to the Butler rally, but the security felt all wrong, and she and her husband left because of it. She's been to other rallies. It just wasn't the thing. Okay. Mitch McConnell's in a hospital for a heart attack. Yeah, supposedly he's been in the hospital for about 2 weeks. He was found unresponsive on the ground, and they're not saying anything about it. Yeah. I heard on the interwebs, so it's true, like 1 million people or so could be arrested because of a COVID. Wow. Hey, thanks, Kelly, for being here. You count on Jim more than I probably should. I'm trying to be here all the time. Sure, they knew about the secret closet in the hotel. Well, obviously they didn't. The guy had his stuff in there. So
that would-be assassin get that far, where he was basically one door away from God knows what. Okay, and so those are questions that need to be answered. The concern that I have is that I'm not so sure, and at least in my mind, is that when you are in charge of the events, you have to account for the what if. You have to account for every contingency. What would a would-be assassin do? How could he or she get access to the president, and then account for every one of those contingencies? That doesn't mean you're going to think of every contingency, but you should be thinking of most and make it very, very difficult for any would-be assassin to get, within one door away from the president. And so those are the concerns that I have now. Those are the concerns I had in Butler. Obviously, we didn't account for the what ifs in Butler, and we didn't even account for some of the what ifs that were obvious. And so, we need to get to the bottom. In every operation, there are things that went right and there are things that went wrong. I've heard rumblings about it, about some kind of, looking into this incident and what happened and getting more depth and in detail as to why it was somewhat lax. I mean, I had some of my staff people were there and they were able to get into these parties at the Hilton simply flashing an invitation. And that's all they needed. And there wasn't any magnetometers or anything to get into those parties.
I mean, it's just crazy. It's just really crazy, all the stuff that went on. It really is. And like this is what the the British newspaper, GB News, British Great Britain News. Secret Service knew the gunman was armed and in position for 2 minutes before he shot Donald Trump. So they knew he was there. They knew he was there with a gun, and they didn't do anything for 2 minutes. That's just ridiculous. Can you believe it? Fatigue. Tank Johnson said Democrats don't fight. Oh, wow. Okay. Got some fatigue going on. I see that. Mhm. All righty. That's just crazy. Jimmy Carter's ready to vote again. Yeah, you're on time. No worries. All right. And then, so that's good. At least some truth. Hopefully, some people are going to get punished. Something's got to happen. People should lose their jobs. Something, you know. Then we got this news. This came out. The FBI's Georgia probe asked the question that the 2020 critics tried to bury. That's right. That is right. Wait, that's where I had. Where'd it go? That's where I had it somewhere else. Where'd it go? Where is it? Where is it? I know I had it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Damn it. I don't know. I know I had it. There was a short video about this. So the FBI just put hundreds of people on a question much of Washington spent 5 years trying to shame out of existence. If the Georgia 2020 election was clean, a full review should prove it. If something went wrong, America needs to know that too. 100 degrees all week, 60 heat rash, 60 hours in 4 days. I know the pain fatigue at 52, but man, I love that paycheck. Since the Bureau has directed 260 investigative analysts to staff operations specialists and staff operations specialists, from field offices across the country to help review the records tied to the 2020 election in Fulton County. You know, the busted pipe, all that stuff, the ballots that came out from under the thing. And so I'm hoping maybe they're going to get to the bottom of why, maybe Rudy Giuliani will get some justice. So each is expected to check about 708 records, and the work is described as a priority investigation. Are we going to watch Trump when he gets on stage? Yeah, I have it pulled up. If someone just lets me know, I keep checking in on it. So he's not on stage yet. It's still people talking about it, but I don't know if it's a different feed somewhere else. So I'm just trying to keep the news going. So FBI agents in January seized hundreds of boxes containing ballots and other documents related to the 2020 election in Georgia's most populous county. A Fulton County spokesman declined to comment. President Trump and his allies have made claims that the widespread election fraud cost them the election. Justice Department has previously said it's investigating irregularities that occurred during the 2020 presidential election in that county. President Trump has long argued that the 2020 election was tainted by fraud, which I think everybody who saw the results, what happened, can make their own decisions. They don't merely disagree. They often demand a loyalty oath, say there was no fraud, say it clearly, and say it before you're allowed back into polite conversation. So that's the thing. Like, it's the same thing they did about COVID. It's the same thing that they do about all types of other stuff. You either comply or they shun you out of existence. It's like the same people with the climate change thing. Like, every scientist says this. Like, come on, we can have a debate. That's what we're supposed to discuss things and figure out the truth. If you silence any dissent or any discussion, that's not a vote of confidence into your point. That's just basically saying you're afraid of the answers you might get. But questions don't become dangerous because someone powerful dislikes them. They become dangerous when the system refuses to answer them. The country was told Georgia counted the presidential vote 3 times, including once by hand, and each count showed Joe Biden ahead. The Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, said that the hand audit reaffirmed the machine count. Those facts should be included. So should one other fact. Audits and recounts don't adequately answer every question about chain of custody, ballot handling, election procedures, memory cards, record keeping, or other illegal contact that occurred around the process. I'm listening and eyeballing for it. I think Marine One arrived 5-10 minutes ago. It was a nice shot of Air Force One flying over the monument. Oh, that would be nice. A tally can confirm a number, while an investigation asks how the system operated around that number. Yes. Prove it. Where's the evidence of widespread fraud? Bullcrap trying to shut us down. Yeah, let's say, show us the evidence. Show us the evidence. They won't even let us look for the evidence. They arrested fucking Tina Peters for trying to preserve the evidence. Remember that. And prosecuted her for what? Well, she took a screenshot of what everything was before we changed it. In a free country, it shouldn't terrify anyone who says records are sound. The court record from 2020 also deserves more honesty than the public usually gets. Many election lawsuits turned on timing, standing, certification, jurisdiction, and requested remedies. Some claims were rejected because courts found them unsupportive. Other cases never came before full public trials on every factual allegation. The popular claim that courts reviewed all the fraud evidence and settled everything flattens a much messier record. Trump critics point to a Georgia recount, audits and certification and recertification. They have every right to do so. Those are part of the record. Trump supporters will point to unanswered questions such as sudden resistance to deeper reviews and a strange rage that erupts whenever anyone asks for another look. The healthiest answer is daylight, not slogans, gag rules, social punishment, or pretending that half the country should simply swallow doubts because institutional voices says, that's impatient. Elections and the machinery of consent. If people believe the machinery is clean, they accept defeat more readily. If they believe questions are being buried, suspicion grows. That's right. The answer isn't less scrutiny, it's more. Fulton County has been the center of America's 2020 argument for years. Now the FBI, led by Kash Patel, is putting hundreds of analysts on the records. The DOJ has already acknowledged an investigation into irregularities tied to the 2020 presidential election. Over 100 agents, Fanny's done. I hope so. And then they prosecuted Rudy and everybody else who tried to get the evidence, falsely disbarred Rudy for challenging it all. Yeah, it's crazy. You don't do that if the facts are on your side. You don't try to shut everybody up and arrest people for asking questions. Ray Costello, what's up? America's chock full of idiots following idiots in the public eye, indoctrinated by communist dogma. Yeah, well, that's why around here we have a one-way trip for communists. If the probe finds nothing, say so clearly and release as much as the law allows. If it finds misconduct, clearly name it and follow the evidence wherever it leads. Either result is better than a country where elections questions are treated as heresy. Our country can survive hard answers, but it can't survive a ruling class that tells people to stop asking. That's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Of ballots it seized from the election office. Officials in Fulton County, Georgia today asked a judge to order the FBI to return thousands of ballots it seized from the election offices.
Why would they want the ballots back if there's nothing to hide? This doesn't make any sense. Give us the ballots back. We want to destroy them. They were trying to destroy the fucking ballots. That's what they were trying to do. That's why they seized them. They were trying to go to court. There was lawsuits and other stuff. They were trying to do it. So that's why they went and took them.
In January. An attorney arguing on behalf of Fulton County alleged the ballot seizure was done at the request of President Trump, which the Justice Department denies. CBS News election law contributor David Becker joins me now. He is also the executive director of the Center for Election Innovation and Research. So what are you hearing with respect to today's hearing?
Well, the hearing started at 9 a.m. today, and it's been going on all day. It just recently took a break where the main portion of the hearing, where Fulton County was arguing for return of their ballots, those people were excused, and now there's a second portion of the hearing where the NAACP has brought a separate action, and that's being heard by Judge Boulay in federal district court there. What I'm hearing from people who are in the courtroom and from reports that have come from the courtroom is that there was a lot of discussion around whether or not the Fulton County had met the standard of callous disregard for demonstrating that the government had acted with callous disregard in order to get their materials back. One of the challenges they had, they brought several witnesses who looked at the affidavit. I looked at the affidavit when it first came out. It was clearly deficient on its face. It didn't allege intent. It didn't even allege a specific crime. It didn't allege election theft. It didn't address the 5-year statute of limitations, all of which should have been in there. And it clearly had some key omissions. It used conspiracy theorist testimony that had been debunked before.
Had been debunked before. Conspiracy theorists, listen to these people. Conspiracy theorists, debunked by who?
And didn't tell the court that these issues had been reviewed and debunked. those raise a lot of questions about the warrant, and a lot of witnesses for Fulton County came in and pointed out how much was missing from this warrant and how it was clearly deficient. And the government said, but you can't know what was in the FBI agent's mind who had testified. But the government also opposed that FBI agent appearing and testifying. And the judge allowed them to oppose that and prevented that FBI agent, who was apparently sitting in the courtroom, to testify. So I think the government could have some difficulty there, because on the one hand, they didn't want this individual to testify. On the other hand, he's the only person who can demonstrate and rebut the indications that there was callous disregard for the law. And
there was callous disregard for the law. There's a bunch of things that got erased. A bunch of ballot images that got erased. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous what they're doing here. Just ridiculous. So, FBI dramatically expands Fulton County investigation, deploys hundreds of analysts. Hey, Jason Fisher, great to see you. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. I'm trying. Yeah, you can't be stupid enough to understand flooding the ballots. Yeah, that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to destroy them. So, according to a memorandum obtained by the New York Times, the analysts have been tasked with completing approximately 708 records checks by July 17th. Yeah, each person has to check all the records. The memo describes the operation as priority for Kash Patel. Americans allowed the communists to infiltrate our education, entertainment, and banking since the 20s. Yeah, we need to get back to getting them, rooting them out. We need another government, what is it called? The Anti-American Committee, or what is it? Government Anti-American Activities Committee or something like that. So, no criminal charges have been filed. FBI and Fulton County have so far declined to comment on the latest developments. So, the department has also sought the identities of every worker involved in administering the 2020 Fulton County election. Look at this. Panicking Fulton County commissioner wants to break into a run as voter roll investigators expose fraud, and her escape car fails to show. County officials challenging the request in court, and a judge temporarily blocked the disclosure while litigation continues. Oh, yeah. We won't tell you who it is. Yeah, Tennessee Zombies. It was turned down. So the commissioner complained about the expanded review, calling it a Hail Mary. Georgia's Rhino Secretary of State insisted that his office runs the most secure elections in the nation. Then why did you guys have to change your records? There was a whole thing about the QR codes and different things that this guy failed to enact, that he had years to enact. And oh, shit, we couldn't do it. So they had to pass a law because you weren't going to comply with the law that said you have to actually check. You can't use QR codes to scan elections, to scan ballots. Our office stands ready to assist law enforcement in any investigation that will reassure Georgians that their votes are cast securely. The FBI is surging resources into the 2020 Fulton County election investigation.
FBI agents are going through materials found today during a search of the Fulton County, Georgia election office. That search is said to be related to the 2020 election. Correspondent David Spunt has details tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening. FBI agents are still on site at the records warehouse for the Fulton County, Georgia Board of Elections. The matter is sealed before a court, meaning details are limited, but we can report this is related to the 2020 presidential election. Sources tell Fox News that agents retrieved documents, phones, and computers after a judge signed a warrant. President Trump has long made Georgia, and specifically Fulton County, a target of his complaints relating to the 2020 election. Shortly after that election, Trump spoke to Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, and said he needed 11,780 votes to win the state. At the time, Raffensperger said he felt pressure from Trump and denied any widespread election fraud. He continues to deny it to this day. Now, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis brought state criminal charges against then former President Trump and others in 2023 for conspiracy to overturn the election. But her prosecution, Brett, was eventually derailed completely after it was revealed she had an intimate relationship with the top prosecutor on her team, and it could have tainted the case. Late last year, a judge dismissed the case in its entirety. Now, Brett, last month, the Justice Department sued Fulton County, Georgia, seeking access to 2020 voting records after state officials allegedly failed to respond to a subpoena.
What's up, NASCAR Mo? Great to see you.
The FBI's Atlanta field office was recently forced out in recent days, but it's unclear, Brett, if this is all related.
It's all related. It is all related. So hopefully something's going to come of this. Hopefully something's going to come of this. All right. And then on to the next story here. We got that the U.S. feared Israel might target Iran's negotiators during the peace talks. And so I think the U.S. might have told the Iranians this to try to put a little scare into them. Like, hey, man, You know, the Israelis still want to whack you guys out. I don't know if we can stop them. We better get a deal. Otherwise, if we can't get a deal, they're going to whack you guys out. That's what I personally think was going on here, but that's my personal opinion. My personal opinion. U.S. officials feared Israel might target two of Iran's top negotiators during the sensitive peace talks this spring. Concerned such a strike could derail the diplomatic effort and reignite the war. New York Times citing a current and former U.S. officials. Oh, the former officials. Are there people that were actually in the government during this, or these people that have been out of government? Like, who'd they talk to? James Clapper? That they were increasingly concerned after negotiations began that Israel could target the foreign minister Abbas Araghchi and Speaker Mohammed Bagher Galbaf, two of Tehran's principal negotiators in the talks. According to a report, U.S. officials believed any attempt to kill the two would likely collapse negotiations and trigger renewed fighting. The concern was serious enough that Washington reportedly asked regional partners to quietly warn Tehran that the two officials could be targeted, even as the Trump administration pushed to keep the negotiations on track. The report also underscores how Washington diplomatic objectives increasingly diverged from Israeli military aims while the war progressed. While both countries coordinated strikes after the conflict erupted, the Trump administration shifted towards securing an agreement with Tehran, while Israeli officials remain deeply skeptical about ending the fighting before achieving the. There's a buff flyover. Where? When is it? I don't see it. Oh. Anyway, okay. New York Times is run by Mandami there. Well, it's run by I'm pretty sure it's run by a Mexican like a central Mexican single plane and was hauling. Okay. So Israeli efforts to decapitate Iran's leadership were central to its military strategy, while U.S. officials acknowledged Araghchi and Galbaf could have been viewed as legitimate targets during the conflict's opening stages. They concluded that targeting either man after negotiations began would likely destroy the diplomatic track. Carolyn says, I was gifted a membership. Thank you. Yes, I believe that was Brian Ogden, I believe. Or it was either Brian Ogden or it was Doc. President Trump delivers remarks at Mount Rushmore. Okay, is it live now? I believe I have it. Oh, the White House. I believe I have it. What is this? Translate to English. All right. He's not up yet. Trump is not up yet. Still waiting. All right. I just checked. Trump's not speaking yet. Someone just let me know. Allows rewind. Okay. The Communist Control Act of 1954 is still viable. Can be used to destroy communist-led liberal groups. That's what they should do. Fannie's a crook. Letitia's a crook. Biden, crime family are crooks. Obama's a crook. Comey, Clapper, Baker, Andrew Wiseman, Lisa Page. They're all crooks. Forgot Clinton. Yes, they're all crooks. So the newspaper reported Israel previously targeted other senior leaders, including Ali Larajan, former foreign minister Kamal Kharzi, both who were killed in the conflict. They also sheds additional light on tensions between Washington and Jerusalem over negotiations. So, security official in response. So, U.S. feared Israel will attempt to nationally assassinate their top negotiator. Well, didn't Trump say that? Didn't Trump tell them that they might not make it home? You better watch out. Might not make it home. Security concerns around the delegation remained high throughout the negotiations. Even before Galbaf traveled to Islamabad to talk to J.D. Vance. Iranian officials reportedly sought assurances from Pakistan and Qatari intermediaries that Israel would not target members of the delegation. Pakistani fighter jets ultimately escorted the Iranian aircraft carrying more than 70 delegates between the Iranian border and Islamabad. But on the return flight, Iranian security officials reportedly warned Galbaf's aircraft that intelligence indicated Israel was preparing to attack it after two Israeli jets allegedly entered Iranian airspace from the west. The aircraft instead diverted to Mashhad before the delegation completed an approximately 8-hour journey overland back to Tehran. Wow. Despite those concerns, Arghachi and Gelba continue to participate in negotiations. Tomorrow's flyover air show in D.C. is pretty big. I hope so. Helicopter flyover. So the revelations come as the United States and Iran continue working towards a broader agreement. We totally defeated the military. They have some missiles left, but we can wipe them out too. I think they've agreed to everything we need.
When you ask me if this is a pragmatic end, you're not going to be in a forever war.
That's true.
And
Well, that's true.
there are other concerns, but
Joe, wait a second. We're in Vietnam for 19 years. We were in Afghanistan for like 10 years. We were in the Korean War forever. We were in, I don't even mention World War I and World War II. They're biggies, but you know what? Stuff like this could have led to it. But we were in many, many years in every war. I've been there for 4 months. And what have I done? I've defeated them militarily. They're totally defeated militarily. They have some missiles left. We could wipe them out too. And I hit them 3 times last week very hard because they sent a drone into a ship. I hit them. Then they did something else and I hit them. I hit them 3 nights in a row. The week before I hit them 2 nights in a row very hard. And we're negotiating and we'll see whether or not. I think they've agreed to just about everything we need.
No.
Okay. Secret Service is scouting the area. Okay. We'll agree just about everything we need. That's good. So President Trump struck an optimistic tone regarding negotiations. Coffin said to contain the remains of Iran's former supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, was displayed at the Imam Khomeini Kasani on Thursday ahead of a funeral procession to begin on July 4th. Now, I would be worried a little bit. I'm a little bit worried. Not a lot worried. I'm just saying a little bit worried that something might happen tomorrow in the U.S., considering that this is going to be the funerals July 4th and July 4th. And you understand? What is the price of gasoline in all states? I don't know, but what I do know is that oil prices are closed at $68.78 today. So they were trading down. They got all the way down to $68.18. You know, so we're at $68, $69 a barrel. So maybe they should be lower gas prices. There's really no reason. They've been trading like this pretty steady. They ranged, basically stayed below $70 all day through trading. So prices should be coming down. Prices should be coming down. Prices should be coming down. So this is the thing going on there. Yeah.
Yo, Jose.
So this is the thing going on there. Look at them all. They're like, hey, this is what's left of his body. Yeah, la, 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 la. But I mean, he's got to really be stinky at this point. I mean, wasn't he killed like in February? Wasn't he killed on the first day of the attacks? Right? So I mean, that's like 4 months ago. He's got to be stinky if there's anything left. He's got to be all rotten and stuff. President Trump coming on stage. All right. So we'll jump to this. All right.
Well, thank you very much to the men and women of the South Dakota Air National Guard and those beautiful F-35s. We love them. And I want to thank you all for being at this big crowd. This
we
is a
missed
lovely
a flyover?
Please welcome the 45th and 47th President. Ladies and gentlemen, please. 7th.
it is.
I don't know.
I want to.
I guess those F-35s were in stealth mode. We couldn't see them. So F-22 is better. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Greg, I'm not in the mood for you tonight, so I'll see you tomorrow, Greg. All right. We're gonna see you tomorrow, Greg. Have a nice night. Not in the mood tonight, Greg. Sorry.
Dakota Air National Guard and those beautiful F-35s. We love them, and I want to thank you all for being here. This is a big crowd. This is a lovely crowd, and what a sight it is. I want to thank Senate Majority Leader John Thune, a good friend of mine, and all of us. Senator Mike Rounds, great guy. Governor Larry Roden, thank you, Larry. Lieutenant Governor Ben Heisen. Oh, they're good. I was waiting for that.
I guess that was the
They
flyover.
said, you start speaking, they won't interrupt you at all. They didn't interrupt us at all. Thank you. They're fantastic. What great, incredible, talented pilots. Thank you very much. And Secretary Burgum, who's doing a phenomenal job. Governor Ron DeSantis, thank you. Governor DeSantis, where's Ron? Thank you, Ron. Distinguished guests and fellow citizens, tonight we gather on the eve of one of the most extraordinary days in the history of the world. Tomorrow we mark 250 years of glorious independence and 250 years of majestic American freedom. Nothing like it. In all the chronicles of the ages, never before has any nation celebrated so magnificent a triumph as this one, the one that we are participating in right now. At 250 years, America is the oldest republic on earth. We are the freest people on earth. We have the most righteous and enduring constitution on earth. We are the strongest and most powerful country on earth. And by the grace of God, the United States of America is the most successful, most accomplished, most exceptional nation ever to exist in human history. And it is great to be your president. It is great. For a quarter of a millennium, liberty, justice, equality, self-government, and unmatched prosperity have flourished here as they have never flourished anywhere before. There is nothing like what we are doing. The birth and survival of the American nation under God is quite simply the best and most incredible thing ever to happen on this planet by human hands ever. That is ever, ever, ever. No other country has done more good for this world than the United States of America. And we give thanks for these extraordinary blessings. We remember that what we have created in this country is not the natural way of the world. It is not the norm. It is the exception. It is rare. It is priceless, and it is truly miraculous. Throughout the entire story of humanity, most people in most places have lived a life plagued by suffering, poverty, exploitation, violence, and misery. But here in America, in this land, on this continent, we have written a very different story. It's a tale of adventure, liberation, and unmatched greatness. It's the story of people governing themselves, the many uniting as one, the men and women rising by their own skill and talent to go further and reach higher than anyone has ever gone before. There has never been anything like this. The triumph of American independence was the result of the most extraordinary people in history, the most extraordinary culture in history, and the most extraordinary ideas in history, all creating the most extraordinary republic ever, ever, ever in history. It all came together for the miracle of July 4th, 1776. That was a big year. 250 years ago tomorrow, what a big day that is. I consider this a big day because I'm with you. I like that too. And by the way, we won big here. We won really big. Each and every time. But 250 years ago tomorrow, the words of our Declaration of Independence sent an earthquake through all of the coming time. They sparked a revolution that has never ended, but still continues to this day. And tonight we come to this beautiful mountain, and it is beautiful, to express our gratitude to those who made it possible, starting with the four men most responsible for reaching this milestone more than any others. We salute the father of our country, George Washington, the author of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson.
You guys hear it good?
The great emancipator and savior of our union, Abraham Lincoln. And the man who built America into a global superpower, Theodore Roosevelt. These are the men who declared the freedom, won our freedom, saved our freedom, and secured our freedom. They were men of action, men of ambition, men of daring, men of destiny, and men of truly great intelligence. Above all, they were great men of history. Tonight, on the threshold of our 25th year, we stand beneath the monument of these heroes, a true group of unbelievable people, and we rededicate ourselves to being a nation as big, bold, noble, and as great as these American giants. And that's not easy to do, but we're going to do it. These men could only have been made in the USA.
Hey, Tenebra, great to see you.
Are engraved on these bluffs, not only because of what they did, but to remind us forever who we are. These heroes exemplify what is timeless, enduring, and eternal about the American character. And in the end, it has always been that character, our distinct and unique identity. It is a truly unique identity, and it'll never change. It's the ultimate source of our strength and the bulwark of our freedom. On this anniversary, we must remember, we have to remember, we can never forget that American liberty has not endured for 250 years merely because of words on paper. Liberty has prevailed here because of the culture and character of the people who declared it, defended it, and preserved it. These are very, very special times, and this is a very special place. You live in a very special place. Congratulations, everybody.
Greatest country on earth. Don't ever forget it.
The identity of a nation is the destiny of a nation, and America has a destiny like no other because we are a people like no other. For whatever reason, that's just the way it is. Here, the old world sent its bravest, boldest, and most resilient, its fiercest, most faithful, and freedom-loving. These men and women brought values, traditions, and customs transmitted over the centuries in Britain and stretching back even further to Athens, Jerusalem, and Rome. The United States of America is where the greatest civilization in human history became greater than ever before. On the grounds and granite hills and the rugged plains of this wide open continent, they forged a uniquely American character, a new breed of citizen. That's you. Congratulations. Congratulations. You're not that new a breed. You're a really good breed, but I'm not sure that you're that new a breed. Americans did not bow before a king or a government, but kneeled only before Almighty God. That's right. These were the people who founded our republic. These were the patriots who fought for independence. This was the spirit that demanded freedom. And this was the culture that built America and carved its heroes into Mount Rushmore. For generations, it was understood that the core of patriotic duty of every American was to pass this culture on to our children and to preserve the nation for centuries and centuries to come. But in recent years, there's been an undeniable attempt to change this exceptional character, to beat the American spirit out of us, alienate us from our history, and to make it impossible to even answer the question, what does it mean to be an American? As we march into our 250th year, incredible, beautiful year it will be, we must never forget there is no American freedom without American culture. And there is no American founding without the American people. Many nations have paper constitutions and legal systems, but the citizens live in fear and squalor. A constitution is only as strong as the people and the culture responsible for upholding it. But as long as we remember who we are, we have to always remember who we are and what we're all about. The United States of America will forever be the land of free men and women, and we will never, ever fail. So tonight, let us say clearly and proudly what makes Americans so unique and extraordinary. We're going to give our country its identity back. Above all, Americans love freedom. We cherish independence, and we know that we are the heirs to the most beautiful land, the most thrilling story, and the most precious legacy on which the sun has ever shined. In America, we do not need anyone's permission to say what we think and to live as we please, to worship as we choose, or to keep and bear arms. You know that. And for almost 6 years during my presidency, I've saved almost single-handedly, but working with John and some other great people, we've saved your Second Amendment, and I will continue to do so, I promise. Our rights here given to us by the God who made us, and those rights shall not be infringed. Americans believe in self-reliance. We look at success with envy not, and I say that some people are envious and some people are not.
Hey, Michael, great to see you.
But with admiration, and we earn it, and we will always earn it, and we will always respect it. We are an incredible, good, kind, and generous people, always ready to help a friend or a neighbor in need. No one has ever given more to charity, ended more hunger, cured more disease, or done more to uplift humanity than Americans, and no country ever will be able to match it. Thank you. So true. Americans honor excellence. We admire boldness. We respect ambition. We are a nation of dreamers and believers, warriors and explorers, doers and fighters. In every human endeavor, Americans see an unfinished competition. What is strong can be made stronger. What is fast can be made faster. What is great can be made greater than ever before. And that's what's happening with America. Show us a mountain and we'll just climb it. Show us an ocean and we'll just cross it. Show us a problem and we will just solve it. Show us a task the world calls impossible and Americans will get it done. Americans are strong and always ready to stand firm for a good cause. We treasure justice, fairness, family, honesty, and human dignity, unlike societies based on class, clan, or tribe. We see every citizen as an individual, equal under the law and equal under the eyes of the Lord. In America, we speak English because that is the language of our founding, and for 1,000 years, that has been the language of freedom. An American always wants peace and order, but we will never shrink from danger or threat. We will always fight, 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 and win, win, win. We got to do that. Because this is our culture, this is our character. Not every American is all of these things, but every American knows these are the traits that make our country exceptional, and exceptional it is. You do not have to be born here, but you do have to love what we have built. You must love our country. There has never been anything like us anywhere on earth, and we are not going to let anyone take that away. Yet as we approach this magnificent anniversary, we see our American identity under a renewed attack. A generation after we fought and won the Cold War against the menace of communism, there is now a resurgence of the communist menace in our land, including from newcomers to our country who embrace ideas totally opposed to our way of life and our great success. These are not mere political disagreements like differences over taxes or regulations. Communism is a mortal threat to American liberty. It is the greatest threat to our country, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, or even 9/11. We're not going to let this happen to us. Believe me, we're not letting it happen. Because communism is the enemy of free people everywhere in the world. Never works. It's the enemy of the Constitution. Above all, it's the enemy of July 4th, 1776. It is the enemy indeed. Even while the radicals and extremists attack our incredible history at every turn, they are silent on the miserable history of communism itself, because it never worked. Thousands of years, if you look at it, under different names, under somewhat different ideologies and systems, that system has led to more death and destruction than any system ever tried. It killed 100 million people just in the last century alone. Communism is the exact opposite of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's death, tyranny, and the pursuit of evil. The godless communist morality states that anything is justified to bring about inhuman visions and to really propose what's good. They don't want good. They don't love God, and they don't want God. They don't love religion, and they don't want religion, and they won't have it. But we will not let them win. They have no chance against us. They have no respect for law, justice, principle, tradition, or your God-given rights. It's an ideology of mass theft, mass control, mass lies, and mass murder. Such doctrines can be given no quarter in a democracy, because the first thing they do when they get into power is turn around and destroy it. It always is destroyed.
Always.
Just as communists have done in other countries all over the world, no matter where you look. Very simply, communism represents the worst ideas and abuses in history by the worst people. The American founding represents the best ideas and traditions in history by the best people like you. You can be loyal to Karl Marx, or you can be loyal to America. You can be a communist, or you can be a patriot. You cannot be both. As for those who peddle Marxist lies about our heritage, who tell our children that we live on stolen land or that our heroes were oppressors, they're doing something much worse than slandering our past. They are slandering and attacking our future. Not going to let that happen. They're trying to tear down the great American character, to destroy the people who declared independence, who crossed the Delaware, who settled the West and conquered the skies. You know who those people are. But we will never let that happen. Our American ancestors did not shed their blood at Concord and Trenton, Gettysburg and Shiloh. Midway and Normandy, just so that a band of thieves, radicals, and lunatics could come in and loot, pillage our nation. Our heroes died to win, build, and to save, and to build truly a great country, the greatest country ever in the world. So on the eve of this 250th anniversary of American heritage, we resolve and swear for all to hear that the citizens of the United States of America will vanquish communism quickly. Don't let them take too much of your time. You know they're wasting your time, don't you? But we're not going to let them take too long or too much of our time as they play their games and send them into exile. We will send them quickly away, and we will continue to build our country bigger and better and stronger than ever before. America will never be a communist country. We can only lose the midterms if we allow ourselves to lose the midterms, if we are foolish, stupid, and unwise. But if we terminate the filibuster, as we should do, and immediately vote for the Save America Act, then we will not lose an election.
How you doing?
For 100 years.
How you doing, Gary?
We do that, we're not going to lose an election for 100 years. The Communist Party is made up of illegal immigrants, criminals, and everybody that doesn't want to work. Communism is a loser. It always was, and it is right now. It's a big loser. Look at the people that are promoting it. They are not the people you're going to follow. In 250 years, the free people of this land have accomplished more with our
American
liberty
Dreamer,
than
great to see you
any other
tonight. How you
society
doing?
has accomplished, even in thousands and thousands of years. As you look back and you study, what our critics will never understand is that America is not the sum of its mistakes. Our mistakes make us human. Our achievements make us American, and nobody has ever had the achievements that we've had. We are the nation that dreamed and created the modern world. We laid the railroads. We raised up those big, beautiful skyscrapers, harnessed electricity, and invented the light bulb, the telephone, the airplane, the assembly line, the television, the microchip, the personal computer, the internet, the GPS, the smartphone, and almost everything else that has ever been invented, including, especially over the last few days in certain areas, a thing called air conditioning.
Yeah, air conditioning. U.S. has it.
Invented
Europe
it all.
don't.
We charted the human genome, cured diseases. We powered entire cities by splitting single atoms and planted our flag on the moon. Americans fill the airwaves of the planet with our music and our culture. We invented baseball, basketball, football, volleyball, NASCAR, and the rodeo. We love that rodeo of the West. Americans have won the most Olympic medals of any country in the world by far, the most Nobel Prizes. Well, they haven't given me one.
Nice shot.
Settled 8 wars.
Nice
I still
shot.
haven't gotten it. That's okay. And the most world records. We publish by far the most patents. We produce the best movies. We make the best music. And we raise up the greatest entertainers and strongest athletes the world has ever seen. So true. We built the biggest and most dynamic economy. And by the way, our country today is doing better than it's ever done before. Never had anything like it. With, as of last week, $19.2 trillion pouring into the United States right now from all over the world. That's the investments being made. And the record was 3. 4 years. In 4 years, the last administration did much less than 1, and we did 19.2 in 12 months. And thanks to our great election win, November 5th, and the tariffs, plants and factories are being built all over the United States right now, and they're being built at a number that we've never, ever seen before. so much more. We're breaking records by double, triple, quadruple. We created the strongest and most powerful military. We won 2 world wars, the Cold War, left America's enemies in the depths of history. We beat Venezuela in one day, and we knocked the hell out of Iran. They're dying to settle. They want to settle so badly. We gave them a week off for a funeral.
Hey,
That's
John,
nice.
what's up? China is like a 3-child policy now. I don't think they have any limits
250
on
years,
China
the
anymore.
entire world has looked to our country and been inspired by the leaps of progress, feats of strength, and acts of selflessness, faith, and hope that could only have happened right here. 2 years ago, we were laughed at, mocked, and a nation in decline. We were in very serious decline. Last administration, what they've done to us, we can never, ever forget that. And today we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. Everybody respects us like no nation. Remember this, we're respected like no nation in the world is respected like us. Every king, every prime minister, every president, they respect us more than any other country by far. 2 years ago, they laughed at us. Now it's only
Hey,
respect.
Mr. CR Boss,
And I want to tell you, the best is yet to come. So in conclusion, from the roaring waters of Niagara Falls to the shimmering gushes of oil and fire from our beloved Texas, from the magnificent fields of corn and wheat and barley of our farms in the Midwest, to the vast canyons of finance in New York City, from the billowing stacks of steel now being produced all over our country at record levels, to the car plants that are rising like we have never seen before. We have more plants under construction than we've had ever before. Automobile plants, something you didn't see of at all for 35 years. To technology from the minds of geniuses that is being brought to life in all corners of our country, from the snow-capped peaks of the Rockies to the white sand shores of the Gulf of America. And to right here in the Black Hills of the Dakotas, after 250 years, American freedom still rings. The American dream still lives, and the American flag still flies more proudly than ever before over the people who will not quit, the nation that will not fail, the country that will not fall. No matter how hard the enemy tries, we cannot be beaten. Tomorrow we reach a milestone like no other and celebrate with joyful hearts and soaring spirits, because after 2.5 centuries, we know that this is not an ending. This is only the beginning of the golden age of America. And together we will make America bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. I promise you that. It's an honor to be your president. Thank you very much, and happy Independence Day to all. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you.
All right. Well, that was great. Sorry, I didn't want to stop it while he was talking, So, yes, I'm proud to be an American too. God bless me in so many ways and his grace. Yes. They said don't use condoms with Chinese women. Well, that's how they stop having, not babies. You have babies, you don't use a condom. That's what happens. China removed the policy, but no one can afford to marry and have children. Young people don't seek to get married, like what happened in the U.S. Yeah, it's sad. That's what's kind of stopping a bunch of people. Remember the Pirates of Tripoli, yes. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles on the land and on the sea. We will fight for right and freedom. Fireworks? They're going to show fireworks? Are they going to have fireworks here tonight? Trump 2028. It's imperative to vote out all the Democrats, socialists, and liberals in every election and all government. That's right. I don't know. Is there going to be fireworks? Oh, wait. Okay, there'll be a little fireworks. Let's see. Okay. Wow, fireworks. I can't really have the music on because they'll copyright claim it, but look at the fireworks. Yay. Look at them. Wow, those are some nice stars. Those are some nice fireworks. They got nice stars. Oh. Wow, thank you for joining. So that was a very small fireworks display. So, all right. And then just for anyone who is interested, the national flyover schedule for tomorrow, July 4th, has been released. D-Day 2.0, yes. We're celebrating with a smoked prime rib and grilled lobster skewers. That's awesome, Duck Fat. That's awesome. Sounds great. So here's the schedule for tomorrow. The National Mall will open when it's fireworks. Let's see. Is this going to actually explain it? Let's see. Where are we at?
Is impacting everything from your celebration at home to big celebrations on the National Mall.
Yeah, many of the outdoor celebrations and events have either been canceled or moved inside. And if you plan to watch the fireworks from the National Mall, the gates are open, are now opening later in the day. And our Juliana Valencia breaks it all down live from the National Mall this morning. What do we need to know?
All right, so if you want to go to the Washington Monument Grounds portion of the National Mall, which is for Salute to America, that's not opening up until 5 because of the heat. But we are on 7th Street, and this entrance is to the Great American State Fair. This is still opening up as scheduled at 10 a.m., along with the FIFA Fan Zone on the 4th of July. Now, because of this extreme heat, several other events outside of D.C. have also been canceled. Over in Maryland, the Tacoma Park Parade and evening street party scheduled for Saturday night, they've both been canceled. The city of Laurel also canceled its annual Independence Day Parade. Events, though, after 6 p.m., including the fireworks show, they will still take place. Now, back here on the mall, the Washington Monument Grounds for Salute to America won't open up until 5. And the entrance for that, by the way, is on 15th by the National African American History Museum.
Oh,
the flyovers, those are still starting at 1:15. So again, you can hang out at the Great American State Fair or go to the FIFA Fan Zone to see those. But Metro is the best bet to get down here. And after 5 p.m., it is free. And the last thing, if you don't want to deal with these security gates, you can always try Constitution Avenue to watch that big fireworks show. It's set to start at 10:30 and run 40 minutes. So if you want to stay up that late and watch it, should be a good one, I hear.
Breaking it all down for us, Juliana, from the National Mall. Thank you.
Yeah, so the schedule is the military aircraft are set to rocket through the skies over Washington, D.C. and the National Mall on the 4th. More than 30 flyovers are scheduled or planned for Saturday, according to Freedom 250, President Trump-based organization planning events. Well, you'll like to see the flyovers in many parts of D.C. Official viewing locations that include the Great American State Fair, the FIFA Fan Zone, and the National Mall, which are set to open at 10 a.m. So the show in the sky is going to be visible from Washington Monument Grounds, which are set to open at 5 p.m. You'll need to enter those secure areas through specific entry points. Expect security screenings and restrictions on what items you can bring in, including a clear bag policy. Steve, our 130-pound pup will be chill when I give him 5 Benadryls. Actually, Bella is going to need to be on some actual Valium or, what's the other Valium or what's it called? The other one, diazepam or something, whatever it is tomorrow. She has a bill. Does Bella have a boyfriend? No. Xanax. Yeah, doggy down, or she's going to take a pill tomorrow. She gets really scared from fireworks. She's terrified by them. Your phone doesn't get YouTube notifications anymore. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. You heard Fetterman created his own state booth. Yes, Fetterman and Dave McCormick created their own state booth because Josh Shapiro refused to do it. 83 now. That's better. Oh, the temperature? That's awesome. So prepare for extreme heat as well. Water bottle refill stations will be available. Metal water bottles are not allowed. Missing tents and cooling stations will be available. The flyovers lead up to a speech by Trump, followed by what's billed as the largest fireworks display ever, starting at 10:30 p.m. Like, that's going to be interesting. Like, I probably will be streaming at that time. That way we can watch the fireworks and talk while it's going off and have a chat, and we'll have it pulled up and watch the fireworks. I'll probably start tomorrow at like 10 p.m. Trazodone. No, temazepam, I think it's called, or something like that, or temazepam or diazepam or something. I think diazepam, temazepam, something like that. I don't know. It's from the vet. Hey y'all, did they celebrate in New York City? No, New York City is just celebrating the marriage. They wouldn't do anything to celebrate the 250th birthday of America, but they will celebrate Taylor Swift marrying that gay football player. So DC always has the best fireworks. Yeah, well, they're pretty good. We have pretty good ones over here too. A couple towns have them. So the flyover schedule: 1:14 p.m. NASA's F5 flyover, the 1:24 a NASA fleet review, 1:44 U.S. CG Hilo flyover, 1:54 U.S. Coast Guard fixed wing flyover, the Golden Knights and the Leapfrogs at 2:09, Army Hilo flyover at 2:29, U.S. Air Force fleet review Wave 1, the heavies, then at 2:54 AF SOC, our Air Force Special Operations Command, I believe that is. I saw a parade earlier in New York City. Benadryl for dog, 1 pill for every 25 pounds makes them drowsy. They can't OD on it. The 4th in Florida is always a treat. Doggies Annex. Yeah, it's a pill from the doctor. I think it's like an actual, I think it's like a Valium or something. If Bella has kids, can we buy them? Bella's too old to have kids at this point. Bella's like 9 years old. $100 says Taylor's firstborn will be trans, probably. A friend suggested I put on a war movie to drown out the fireworks. I told her, oh my gosh, old men in their war movies. It was so funny. Yeah, well, 100 Benadryl for $6.99. Go to the vet, pay $200 and get the Gabbies for dog for $50 more, or $6.99 at the grocery store. Yeah, it's just RBSN is showing the fireworks. Oh, it just ended on the other thing. So I thought that was all the fireworks. I didn't. Right Side Broadcasting Network. Oh, they are still doing fireworks there, huh? But you can't rewind it, so. Right? I don't know. I don't know. The music always worries me because there's so many things that it takes me forever to clip the music out and stuff. But so I guess I could read the stuff too. Here, so I'll close that. So yeah, so 2:54 is the Air Force Special Operation Command. 2:54 p.m. tomorrow. 3:04 p.m. is the fighter jet Wave 3 Air Force fighter jets, and then the Executive Rotary Wing Airlift will be at 3:29. 3:39 is U.S. Marine Corps rotary winged aircraft. 3:49 U.S. Marine Corps Fleet Review fixed wing. United States Navy rotary aircraft 3:59. 4:09 p.m. tomorrow is the Fleet Review for fixed wing for the Navy, and then the fighter jets will be for Navy fighter jets will be at 4:19, and then the United States Navy F-18F demonstration team will be at 4:21. The Blue Angels will be at 4:59. Marine Corps Osprey demonstration at 5:26. United States Air Force Fleet Review fighters at 5:54. United States Air Force tri-bomber formations at 6:02. The F-35 demonstration teams at 6:05 p.m. The Thunderbirds, the Air Force Thunderbirds, are at 6:25. The Air Force One flyovers at 7:03 p.m. At 7:07 p.m., the Thunderbirds Delta break. At 7:17, a huge one flyover led by the newly renovated Air Force One. The Stealth Air Power flyover will be at 7:38. The F-22 Raptors will be at 7:39. At 7:53, you'll get F-22 Raptors and Afterburner. At 7:59, a B-1 flyover. 8:07, B-1's an Afterburner. 8:11, a huge one flyby over review. The Golden Knights Twilight Jump at 8:22 p.m. And at 7:36, B1 Afterburner Night Pass at 7:36 p.m. So that's what's happening tomorrow. So here's the fireworks. Hey, all. What's up, Shadow Wings? Great to see you. 101 feels like 111 tomorrow. Lots of flights. How many will be off schedule? I'm sure they'll be off schedule. Some of them, probably a bunch of them. What time you'll be on tomorrow night? I was thinking about 10 o'clock, but maybe I'll go a little earlier. We'll see. It'll either be 10. The latest tomorrow will be 10 p.m. Eastern time, maybe a little bit earlier. We'll see what else I got going on. But I want to be on for Trump's speech and the fireworks. So, hey, Lisa False Actor, have a nice sleep. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Phoenix area is scheduled to have a flyover throughout the large cities. Snow Baby, what's up? Happy 4th to everybody. Yes, thank you. Apparently, Japan put on a fireworks display in honor of the United States, and they didn't even had, I think she's called a prime minister and Trump in a drone view. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, Virginia. Bella's the goodest pup. She is. Too fitty. That's right, too fitty. We have military here in Austin. Every time we're out and saw any soldier, I would thank them in front of my kids, explains they were true heroes, no matter what Marvel or Hollywood puts out. So that's some, I mean, those are some nice airbursts. Let's see. Yeah, see, the music is a problem. Sorry. So Eastwind Farms, great to see you. All right. Well, we're going to have a bunch of fireworks. You love the lasers? Yeah. Are they going to holograph Trump on the mountain? 4-year-old son was a total Spider-Man lover. Then he saw soldiers in camo and understood the camo would crush his Spidey. So, all right. Well, I'm not going to stay on this fireworks much longer. We're going to have a bunch of fireworks to watch tomorrow night. So I'm going to get back into some news stories here. So, all right. And one of these is not good. It says 46% of Americans don't know what the 250th celebration is commemorating. Isn't that crazy? They don't even know. They don't even know what it's commemorating. They don't even know. They don't even know. So a new poll conducted ahead of the semi-quincentennial. So it's the semi-quincentennial is what it's called, I guess. Life is not complete without witnessing a napalm drop by the Air Force. That would be nice. The Cato Institute conducted a poll in collaboration with the Morning Consult, scumbags over there. 46% of Americans did not know that the 250th what we were celebrating. Wow, our Independence Day, the 250th anniversary. Among Gen Z Americans, the number rose to 61%. Oh my God. That marked the adoption of the Declaration. Most respondents had a positive view of the United States, with 76% holding a favorable view of the founding of the country. Nearly 9 in 10 Americans, 86%, said they were grateful to be American. That's good. 79% they were proud to be American. Wow. Additionally, 61% that they believe America is the land of opportunity. When asked what they want most want children to learn, the top response at 28% was freedom is rare and must be protected. 27% that patriotism means loyalty to the country's principles, not to a politician or party. And 26% said America's history includes both great achievements and serious injustices. Oh, those are scumbags right there. Democrats, serious injustices. Really? Could any of us on this stream have crossed the Oregon Trail, lived in the true wilderness of our country, fought in the 1776 war? Can any of us do what James Monroe and Alexander Hamilton did? I don't know. Honestly, I'd like to think. Cesium Cat, great to see you. I'd like to think some of us could. I'd like to think I would try. You know, I have a semi-quin $50 thanks to my company. That's awesome. So while most Americans overall feel favorable towards the founding fathers, Gen Zs were most likely to say the founding fathers were self-interested elites who mainly sought to increase their own power and wealth at 28%. Wow. That's what the schools have been teaching them. Over half Americans believe the country has moved away from its founding principles and ideals. Yeah, we have. Somalis believe the U.S. is a land of opportunity they can steal. Yes, that's what they think. So the poll conducted between June 25th and 26th. So that's interesting. This from antiwar.com. This is the thing written by Dave DeCamp. This is Scott Horton's paper. Says U.S. believed Israel wanted to kill Iran's Aragachi and Galbef during the April negotiations. I think we already talked about this. Did we talk about this? I think we did. The advent and worship of comic book heroes and sci-fi icons has replaced America's true heroes. Yeah, pretty much, kind of. They don't even know. So the report's been cited by U.S. officials. Some officials told the paper the U.S. went as far as telling the other countries to warn Iran. Oh, that's interesting. Same thing here. U.S. officials tried to warn Iran about fears Israel would assassinate the mediators. We talked about it. Okay. We got this story. Another J6er commits suicide. Another victim of weaponization that brings the total deaths of Trump supporters to 12. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Just horrible. Just horrible. Nicholas Langeron became the 8th January 6th political prisoner to commit suicide this week. Wow, that's brutal. Moment of silence for him. Wow. His corrupt government drove him into his death. The pressures of being targeted political prisoner during the Biden regime and abuse he endured was too much. God bless his soul. God rest his soul. The blame belongs to criminals who plotted, planned, and executed the historic riot on January 6th. It took years for Americans to learn that there was 274 undercover FBI cutouts and agents. The blame also belongs to Republicans who are too weak to stand up for what is right and just. We also know that several other government agencies deployed operatives that day at the U.S. Capitol, and that Antifa terrorists went undercover disguised as Trump supporters. It's widely been reported that Nancy Pelosi refused extra National Guard that day and waited until the late afternoon to approve the National Guard to secure the premises. Only Trump called for more National Guard days before the protest. Langeron's suicide brings the total number of deaths from January 6th protests to 12 and police attacks to 12 Trump supporters dead. Another brave patriot gone. He didn't die at the Capitol. He was slowly broken by years of Biden's weaponized DOJ persecution. They have been teaching them to take it all for granted, to blame everybody else for their problem. Yeah, I mean that's what's been going on. That's what's been going on. That's what's been going on. So, I forgot to tell everybody, we are approaching 2 hours. All right, we're at 1 hour and 50 minutes right now. We have almost 100 people watching, and it looks like we only have. Let's see here. We have 94 likes. So that's pretty good. We could get more, but that's good. We get more. So, we're approaching our. We got about a half hour to go until the goal expires, but we still we have an extra hour already. So we got about an hour and a half, maybe, of show left, unless we hit the goal for a second additional hour. We are currently $93 away from adding that second additional hour. So I just don't want everybody to wait till the last minute and then freak out. How was the day? Cookouts, just relaxing. What do you have planned tomorrow? I'm gonna smoke some meat on my Traeger. I'm gonna swim in the pool. I'm gonna watch a little fireworks, hang out with the grandkids, and then I'm gonna stream with you guys to watch some Trump speech and stuff going on in DC. Maybe some video of the flyovers and stuff. Watch some of that. We'll talk about news and stuff. And then tomorrow is gonna be basically illegal alien crime day. Once we get done celebrating, we're gonna talk about all the harm that's been done by illegal aliens to the country. America the Beautiful, I've never heard at their school functions. I live in a blue city in a red state, and Califucks are moving in and making it worse day by day. So sorry to hear another January 6th defendant has passed from suicide. He was raised by his grandparents. His life was not easy. As a J6er advocate, I'm heartbroken. Another J6er took his life. 44 months of prison by Judge Bates after taking a plea. He was released 8/6/24. We now have 29 deaths related to J6. You're welcome, and thank you to all the other people who fought, served, and died for this country, and those that remain. To the lost. The blood is on the hands of those who failed the citizens of the United States. Speaker Mike Johnson released the first batch of footage that is accessible to the general public. The release of the footage has led to one thing. There was no insurrection. The footage shows that protesters peacefully entered and leave, making police smile. Following the release of new footage, it's important to reflect on the individuals who face severe distress and are facing various charges and public scrutiny under false premises, leading to their tragic deaths. And on these were Matthew Perna, George Meacham, Mark Ungst, David Hummel, Chris Stanton, and Nicholas Longerund. I put the brisket in the smoker at noon today. Will be perfect tomorrow. Oof. I'm thinking I'm going to have pork tomorrow, either ribs or pork chops. I haven't decided yet. So below is a partial list of the patriots who committed suicide after during years of abuse. Parna, nonviolent Trump supporter, was arrested after January 6th, committed suicide. He was never accused of violence or vandalism. He walked in the Capitol. He shows Parna calmly walking through. A new video shows him calmly walking through alongside police. What happened? What is going on? Why did it freeze? Why did it freeze? Why did it do that? Why did it do that? I don't know. I lost my spot. Wow, I feel bad now. So, 22-year-old Nijor Meacham died on August 28, 2021, 2 weeks after the regime charged him with 4 misdemeanor crimes for walking inside the open doors. Mark Ongst of Williamsport, Pennsylvania, committed suicide in July 2022. Pled guilty last June to parading in the Capitol, was facing 6 months in prison. He was a gas and fuel wells technician in the area. He was a member of the Messiah Lutheran Church, a loyal and dedicated man. Strode tremendous pride for God and his country. Christopher Stanton, Georgia, died in 2021. Committed suicide Saturday after he was charged in a Capitol riot. He had no criminal history. Yeah. How many will have to suffer before our politicians stand up to Biden's tyranny? Oh, KBT said, I'm so far behind. Trump is still talking. I'll take a pork butt over brisket any day. BC internet. Terrible. Anyway. Then this came out. Look at this. Former police officer and anti-J6 activist Michael Fanone criminally referred on 7 counts. Link in the comment section. Wow, really? Read more here. He's been criminally referred on 7 counts.
An investigation hasn't been started yet. Fairfax County, Virginia, has launched a criminal investigation on Michael Fanone. Also, I filed a defamation lawsuit for $10 million against him, as well as it's defamation, assault, and there's another count that deals with not threatening words, but untowardly words used in.
Is he on an elevator? Why is he talking on an elevator? Anyway, we'll read the story here. So, former police officer and anti-J6 activist Michael Fanone criminally referred on 7 counts. It's been a bad week for the anti-J6 crowd. Former police officer Michael Fanone, who was present at the riot, was criminally referred on at least 6 counts by prominent J6 activist Ivan Raiklin. Raiklin submitted the referral to Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche and Attorney General for District of Columbia Janine Pirro. Their city's fireworks got canceled tonight due to the thunderstorms. The pork this year is beer and cheese brats. I'll put them in the smoker tomorrow. That's good. Fanone is a nutter. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I always like to eat pork. That way it keeps the Muslims away. Just saying. Baby back ribs today keeps the Muslims away. Renee Collins says, I just realized I've been watching but never said hello. Well, thanks for being here, Renee. Make sure you say hello. Make sure you hit the like button. So the violations of Fanon's criminal referral range from making false statements to Congress, obstructing official proceedings on the Capitol grounds, assaulting and impeding certain officers and employees, and unlawful activities on Capitol grounds. Secretary of Retribution drafts criminal referrals for Michael Fanon. What's this? Secretary of Retribution. Fanon made a scene at the House Judiciary Committee on January 22nd, 2026, in which former special counsel Jack Smith testified that the committee had defended his unlawful criminal persecutions of President Trump during the 2024 election cycle. Fanon also got into a verbal altercation with Raiklen at the hearing and made false statements about him in front of law enforcement. Again, we pundit got an exclusive interview with Raiklen and J6er Daniel Goodwin, who's aligned with the Stop Hate, an organization that seeks justice for the prosecuted victims in the aftermath of J6. So this is the video. I'm gonna watch this video. It's kind of a long. You guys want to watch this video? It's like 10 minutes long. If you want to watch the video, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't want to watch the video, you want to keep going. We got tons of stuff to talk about. So you're gonna waste 10 minutes. I don't know if it's a waste of 10 minutes to hear him talk, but so he filed a defamation suit as well as defamation, assault, and other count that deals with threats, non-threatening words, but untowardly threat. Is it that guy? It's Raiklen. Raiklen does not make criminal referrals as a civilian. He just reports crimes. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on, really. It seems like it's not like, number one, you want to hear it? Okay. You have a civil by complaint against Fanon. Raiklen also called former police officer fainting Fanon. You Google J6, you'll see it's not listed as an insurrection. It's listed as a riot. Things are changing. One, I hate that cop. No need for 10 minutes. I guess I could play a little bit and jump around. We can jump forward and see what he says, I guess.
An investigation hasn't been started yet. Fairfax, we have a criminal investigation on Fanon going on as we speak. And then also there is, depending on where that investigation leads us, if it shows that Michael Fanon was behind the coordinated vector of attacks to have people threaten me via interstate communications, such as.
So it's about him?
Say he fainted for seconds. So he's fainting Fanon, not unconscious Fanon, okay? So Mr. Fainting Fanon, and the reason why I'm almost sure that he fainted is because when we saw him acting the way he did, when he defamed me and assaulted a U.S. Capitol police officer.
It's cranked up all the way it'll go.
That demeanor.
It's cranked up 600%.
Back in January 6th of 2021, where he just hyped himself up into a frenzy. Meanwhile, everybody was trying to help him get out of the crowd and back into the police line. He just faints, basically. Would you agree with that characterization?
I think over 100.
If that, yeah, it's just all fake. The guy's like said it was like 4 minutes of being unconscious, which I think is
it is him.
Unique use of that word.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Thus now finally making what you'd been working on and exposing in the official public record through.
See, honestly, I hate to be like Debbie Downer or throw them all, but this doesn't seem like this is just some guys talking, and they're saying like this is just two guys talking. This is not like feds saying they got charges or they're investigating. This is just this guy who I don't know about this Raiklen guy, but this guy seems like he's I don't know, makes a lot of claims all the time that don't seem to come true. That's all.
That release. So now Congress has an opportunity to juxtapose the released body cam footage of Michael Fanon and match that with the testimony that he gave on July 27th of 2021 before the J6 committee that Nancy Pelosi constituted with Benny Thompson at the head of it, with Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and Jamie Raskin and Adam Schiff on it. So they can match his testimony, Fanon's, with the body cam footage, and it will be very clear, I think to most members of the jury.
KPT, I don't think you could be at 2 hours and 12 minutes because I've only been going an hour and 59 minutes. So I don't know. I don't think you could be going 2 hours and 12 minutes because I've only been going an hour and 59 minutes. We got about an hour and a half left to go if we don't hit the goal. We still got an extra hour coming once the goal resets on YouTube here in 15 minutes or so. And then we got about an hour after that. I don't trust those glasses. Yeah, there's a little suspicious. That was perjury, meaning that was a
materially false statement made, shouldn't be, well, not perjury, but a materially false statement made, violating 18 USC section 1001. So that's one criminal referral
That would be
I'm providing.
lying to
Speaker
Congress.
Johnson, Chairman Jim Jordan, Chair of the Homeland Security Committee.
Why wouldn't the
Barbarino,
wait?
or,
Why wouldn't if he lied to Congress? That's Congress's responsibility. I think he was 2 minutes in. Oh no, KPT's been here a while. He's more than 2 minutes in. Actually, smoked meat increases cancer chances by 200% at least. Oh my God. Congress is feckless. They don't want to do anything. I'm getting Bondi 3-ring binder fines. Yeah. Feelings. Yeah. So Secretary of Retribution drafts criminal referrals. Who's the Secretary of Retribution? This doesn't make, like, is that a real thing or is this guy just making this up?
3 counts.
I've never heard of such a thing.
18 USC 1512 C2 by former Metropolitan Police Department officer Michael Fanone. And I go into detail here with the actual video links. You can go to my Substack to read the full.
Go to my
criminal
Substack,
referral.
pay for it and read
It
it.
goes in here and really lays out the 6 criminal offenses that he conducted on January.
All right, so let's see.
That are some key figures.
Yeah, I mean, those are some of the biggest ones.
Those are the heavy hitters
Yeah.
right there.
Okay, so all right, I don't know. This was kind of, I think. So he filed a defamation suit too. So I don't know. This seems like, what is the Gateway Pundit doing with this? This is just this guy claiming these things. It's not like anything provable here. I don't know. I don't want to be the person throwing cold water on it, but this seems like if this was true and this happens, great. But I don't know. It was an illegitimate election, and they wanted their voices heard to provide courage to those in the chamber to do the right thing and object to the illegitimate election. Representative Troy Mells did not hold back on Fanone and wasn't surprised by Fanone's criminal referral. So here's Troy Nelson. This is a congressman. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Congressman Troy Nels. How are we doing today?
Wonderful, thank you.
I got a quick question on behalf of the Gateway Pundit. So, on January 6th, renowned and darling hero of the left, Officer Michael Fanone,
He's garbage, by the way. He's garbage.
Oh yeah,
Garbage.
no, definitely.
He doesn't speak the truth very often.
Well, he actually is now being criminally referred on 7 counts. What do you have to say about this?
It doesn't surprise me. The guy, did you see him in the hearing? He openly was flicking me the bird. Did you see that?
I did. I was actually there,
He
and
actually said nasty things about me. What's nasty about this guy here? Nothing. But he's unstable, and he probably needs to get on some medication.
all right, thank you, sir.
All right, cool. So that's good. So that's that. So Nels also said he's garbage. So Rep. Seth Moulton, who's hoping to primary longtime Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey had something different to say. Yeah, I'm sure he says he's great. So
nobody who tried to overthrow our government, who tried to kill cops, tried to kill Mike Pence, tried to kill Nancy Pelosi, should get a dime. They should go back to prison.
whatever. Fuck you. Nobody tried to kill any of those people, you lying cocksucker. So there, suck a dick. Sorry. Anyway, although I think Ivan is a bit full of himself. Yeah, a little bit. A criminal referral is not equal to an indictment, so don't hold your breath. Oh, I know. I don't even see like anybody can make a criminal referral, right? Like I could make a criminal referral right now. So check this out. Let's see here. The radicalism of our founding fathers. Let's see, what's this about?
American history. The founding fathers, 250 years on, their philosophies, arguments, and contradictions still shape our lives. But who were these men? Why have their ideas endured? From Morocco, we have a lesson in American history.
From Morocco, we have a lesson? What?
Yes, they were flawed. Many of the men who signed the Declaration of Independence, indeed the man who wrote it, were themselves slaveholders.
Oh my God, everybody was. What are they talking about? Seriously? That's what you're going to talk about? Go fuck yourself. I ain't even listening to this now. You can go suck a dick. Sorry. I'm sorry. I got to stop. I got to stop. A vanishingly rare copy of the Declaration of Independence was found in the UK by a volunteer. A rare 1776 printing of the Declaration of Independence has been found in the UK's National Archive by a volunteer. known as the Exeter Declaration. The copy is one of 11 of its kind known to still exist and believed to be the only one outside of the United States, according to the National Archive. This is an extraordinarily rare discovery, said Sal Nasi, chief executive of the National Archives and keeper of the public records. It's vanishingly rare surviving copy of the Declaration of Independence, found not in America, but in the UK. Believed to have been printed in Exeter, New Hampshire in 1776, the copies were produced to spread the news of the signing of the actual declaration, often carried on ships. Hey, we're going to need that copy back that you stole off us. Yeah, like, don't make us come get it, Britain. Because, yeah. I hope they got a copy. It was written to them. Whoa, just got back to normal speed. Well, thank you. We sent it to them as a message. That was our Independence Day. Yeah. Declaration of Independence. So the National Archives said the document was seized from an American ship, the Dalton, on Christmas Eve in 1776 by the British Royal Navy vessel HMS Reasonable, following a 7-hour pursuit off the coast of Portugal. When the ship was brought to Britain, the seized papers included the Privateer's Commission, printed instructions from the Continental Congress, and a declaration which was archived simply as another paper. Hey, Roselle Jam, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by tonight. I played against Exeter, New Hampshire in middle school and high school basketball and softball. Kicked their butts every time. Only the ones with the LY at the end, Schoolhouse Rock. Now, 250 years later, Michael Scurry, a volunteer at the National Archive in London, found it when cataloging a box of correspondence. It was a seized copy? Then yes, we want it back. Yes. Did I hear that 2CTV is moving to Florida? He was trying. I thought, I saw that. I thought he said something about that he was having trouble getting a visa. Sailboat pursuits are slow and boring. Yeah, I thought he said he was having trouble getting a visa because something about something Iran, something. I called him my boss. I said, I think you need to come back and take a look at this. Scurry told CBS News partner BBC. CBS News is partnered with BBC. The rare document was found by a volunteer. After identifying it, the National Archives said it carried out a careful conservation to repair the slight tear and stabilize the paper. In the curated National Archives, this is the rarest form of the Declaration we know about. It wasn't meant to be preserved. It was printed quickly and distributed wisely. Look at Bellick wagging her tail there. She's very happy about the Declaration of Independence. The fact this copy was on board the Dalton tells us a great deal about its meaning and importance. For the men on board the Dalton, it set out what they were fighting for and why. Maybe he should try MasterCard instead of Visa. Maybe. I would assume they sent one to the King of England to declare their intentions. Yeah, but I think they're saying this wasn't one. This was just one that they printed and like sent out on ships and stuff. It says a retired Briton stumbles across vanishingly rare copy of the U.S. Declaration of Independence in an unexpected location. The document's been locked away for centuries before it was found on a boring old Thursday morning. A retired insurance broker has uncovered a vanishingly rare copy of the U.S. Declaration of Independence. Michael Scurr was made to find it at Coup-based National Archives. He volunteers on what he describes as a boring old Thursday morning. The document's a sole example of its kind located outside the United States. It's also one of just 11 surviving copies of the 1776 printing produced in Exeter, New Hampshire. The historic text remained hidden within the state's archives centuries before Mr. Scurr stumbled across it. Sal Nasi, the archives, the chief executive. This is an extraordinary discovery. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Great to see you, bud. Bella is sweetly dreaming about smoked brisket tomorrow. Well, she won't get any of that, but she don't get the smoked brisket. My neighbors have been burning fireworks here in the whole week. So Mr. Skur spent 11 years volunteering at the archive, came across a document in May. I started reading a particular letter, which seemed to have an awful lot of enclosures. I thought, oh, I'm going to be here all morning with this letter. But I do have to read everything to make sure I picked up everything that is important and relevant. That's when he found this. It's crazy. You know how to marinate and prepare carrots to become vegan hot dogs? No clue. Never heard of that, Rocky Rakesh Sharma. So after several enclosures, I came across a document unfolded. It had big letters on the top, declaration. This is not something I still not know what a brisket is. Have you ever had corned beef? Have you ever had corned beef or pastrami? It's the same thing. Corned beef and pastrami are a beef brisket. If you smoke it, if you take a corned beef and then smoke it, that's what pastrami is. They pack it with pepper and a bunch of other spices and smoke it, and then that's a smoked corned beef is pastrami. Now, if they don't cure it, like corned beef is cured, but if you don't cure the corned beef, it's the beef brisket. If you smoke it alone, that's just a smoked beef brisket, like a barbecue beef brisket, smoked brisket. So, oh, hello, Kilo. How you doing? Great to see you. So the document declared the independence from Britain's 13 colonies. I stopped making briskets when I discovered the Texas beef clod. I don't know what that is. Corned beef? Yeah, corned. C-O-R-N-E-D. Corned beef. Good stuff. Spot on. Jim knows his sheet. Yeah. What's up, XV Foxblade? How you doing? Great to see you. So it was seized by the Royal Navy on Christmas Eve, 1776. So these motherfuckers went and canceled Christmas. Happy birthday, America. That's right. Carrot baked beans without hot dogs might be very good. Years ago, we used to celebrate the 4th of July more than New Year's, but then things got reversed. New Year's became more important, and industry pay went by that great side. Well, doing good. Happy 4th. Great to see you. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it had to do with they started like basically outlawing fireworks all over the place. A lot of states, specifically blue states like Illinois, New York, blue states basically started outlawing fireworks. So then there's how are you going to celebrate the 4th of July without the fireworks? It's like that was the whole thing. You would have a barbecue, fireworks, do stuff, party, celebrate. Who hasn't heard of corned beef? Well, the story about corned beef is a very interesting one. The reason that corned beef was invented, I don't know if this is true or not. This is what I've been told my whole life, and this is what I've heard. So I don't know, but it's just a whole wives' tale. But reasonable was the first ship that Horatio Nelson commanded, French for illogical reasonable. So what I've heard is that the reason they invented corned beef, what they did is because it was, as meat was becoming spoiled, they needed to hide that it was spoiling, becoming rotten or whatever. So they started pickling it to cover it. And so they could sell that. And that's why it was given to like the poor people, like, I don't know. You live in Canada and people in my town blow off fireworks, expats. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, you're on late. I missed you since I cannot make your early shows. Thank you, Mother Papillons. Yes, I started very late at 10 o'clock. Same thing tomorrow night, probably 9 or 10 tomorrow night. We're going to go. We'll watch the fireworks and some stuff from Washington, D.C., talk about illegal alien crimes. MacGyver says, my old man made bank on fireworks. Yeah, you can make money on fireworks, yes. My county outlawed it, but they don't enforce it. Our skies are filled with illegal fireworks on the 4th, pickled and boiled. Yeah. Some have been known to bleach meat. 9 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, 9 p.m. Central Time or earlier tomorrow. Pickling and curing extends the shelf life. Yes, sure does. Karen O says, I miss home. So America turns 250 tomorrow. So that's great. Yeah. Look at Trump saying, I'm going to touch the king's leg and tell him he's gay. Such copies were printed to spread the word. Ships frequently carried the documents to drum up support for the cause. I love me Jig's dinner. Okay. Jim, yes, I've heard the same story about corned beef. Sounds reasonable. So none of the copies were anywhere near as rare as the one Mr. Skur unearthed. Historians poured over his finds for a month before announcing it to the public. They tried to hide it, probably tried to sell it, pay some of their debt. He also told to keep his discovery secret from fellow volunteers, friends, and even his family while experts studied the document. A secret is something that needs to be kept. If it's not a secret. So we have a lot of copies. Well, we have several copies of the Declaration of various different types. This one is so interesting to me because it's not new to us. It's the rare one. There's only 11 now of this Exeter Declaration in the world. So conservation work was carried out to remove creases and prepare the document for public view. It will soon be displayed at the Archives Revolution 250 Expedition, which covers America's independence from 1763 to 1783. I love corned beef on some dark wheat bread with hot mustard. Oh, yes, I love corned beef. I make my own hot mustard. I take like a really good coarse grind horseradish and mix it with some, mustard, or you use like Grey Poupon's really good too if you want Grey Poupon with the wine and stuff like that. But I like to make my own mustard and horseradish mixed together. So very interesting. Very interesting. Got this. Police stop a North Carolina church massacre, arresting man who showed up with flamethrowers, crossbows, and more than 500 rounds of ammo. Wow, 500 rounds of ammo. That sounds like a lot to somebody who doesn't know anything. You've never had corned beef? It's excellent if it's made correctly. Try smoked mustard. Well, you know what? I will. This guy. Look at this guy. Police arrested a man on Sunday who was apparently attempting to execute a mass casualty terrorist attack on a church in North Carolina. Wait a minute, today's Friday. Sunday. He faces charge of possession of weapons of mass destruction. The suspect, 44-year-old William S. Milliken, was found by police in the parking lot at Wesley Memorial Methodist Church in High Point, North Carolina on Sunday morning. Coleman's is the best mustard ever. Okay. An armed man wearing camouflage. He was wearing a plate carrier, which is a type of body armor. He has possessions of a weapon of mass destruction, impersonation of law enforcement officer, possession of controlled substances, said the High Point Police. Wow, the High Point Police. I wonder if they carry High Point guns. 500 rounds, that's just a single can. Yes, it's a half a can. If it's a 50 cal can, large can, 1,000-round can. But other ones are a 700 or was it 780 or 820 rounds, and the ones that come with the stripper clips. So he had a CO2 powered launcher designed to resemble a handgun, 2 flamethrowers, 2 crossbows, more than 50 rounds of ammunition. Well, it doesn't really sound like he had a gun, though. It said he had a CO2 powered launcher designed to resemble a handgun. I wonder if that's one of those. I wonder if he had one of those tear gas guns, tear things out. I was kidding about the rocket launcher. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Miss Vicky? How you doing, Vicky May? Great to see you. Probably had a yeet cannon. That's what I'm saying. If he was in High Point, he must have had a yeet cannon. Rolls of black duct tape, 3 knives, and oxycodone pills. 500 rounds of what? He didn't have an actual firearms. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound right. So thanks to quick action, officers, the man with weapons was taken into custody. Officers prevented a potential dangerous situation. Troy Lee Barber, who lives nearby, said kept church moving as police arrested a man and searched his vehicle. They were worked to keep the High Point safe. So we had a yeet cannon in High Point. Oh, I don't know. It's amazing, but today's society we're living in and being a church and reason why they have police officers now at every church function. Just say jet blocked. They always get weird. What do you mean? Who's blocked? Well, that's what it's doing, considering I see a giant goldfish out in space to the west ones. Oh, giant goldfish. Cool. 500 rounds, meaning 500 arrows. I don't know. 500 bolts for his crossbow, maybe? He had a BB gun? I don't know, something. I don't know, makes sense. Gorton is an old family tradition for me. My siblings love it too. But Gorton's like fish sticks? Is that what you're saying? Or Gorton's mustard? Gorton's fisherman? Let's see here. All right.
A Thomasville man is in jail this morning after being arrested in a church parking lot. On Sunday, High Point police responded to Wesley Memorial United Methodist Church on Chestnut Street.
William Milliken III was arrested. Fox 8's Justin Lundy explains what police found inside his truck.
Usually when the cops are here, the lights aren't on, but this time there was cops lights on. And when I walked outside, I noticed there was 3 or 4 cop cars all with their lights on. So I knew something had to be going on.
Something was indeed happening Sunday morning just a few feet away from Troy Lee Barber's home in the parking lot of Wesley Memorial Methodist Church on Chestnut Drive in High Point.
It probably went on for a good 30, 40 minutes with all the police cars there. Church was still going on. They kept church moving. Like I said, they just moved all the parking to that side of the street.
High Point police say just after 10 a.m., officers responded to a call about an armed person sitting in a truck in the church parking lot. A nearby off-duty officer, with the help of a backup, disarmed a man who they later identified as William Milliken III. They say he was wearing body armor and had 2 flamethrowers inside his truck at the time of his arrest.
North Carolina is what they're saying. North Carolina. Temple guards are not new. They've existed for thousands of years. Yeah. A flamethrower could just be a can of hairspray and a lighter. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this is. No problem. Yeah, North Carolina. Lawn darts are more deadly, apparently. Yeah, they outlawed lawn darts. So let's see.
That's very surprising. I'm amazed, but today's society that we're living in right now and being a church, and the reason why they have police officers at every church function and other kinds of functions.
In addition to flamethrowers, investigators also found 2 crossbows, more than 500 rounds of ammunition, rolls of black duct tape, and 3 knives. He faces several charges, including possession of a weapon of mass destruction and impersonation of a law enforcement officer. Lee Barber says he's glad no one was hurt.
Last year we had a Volkswagen little van that caught on fire in the parking lot.
Oh, thanks, Alan Sparks.
So I thought maybe it was another thing like that. But no.
Seems like there's always a lot going on in the parking lot.
There's always something going on in the parking lot.
Wow.
Police say Milliken also had a CO2-powered launcher that resembled a handgun.
Okay, so I'm confused because what gun did he have for the 500 rounds of ammunition? So this makes no sense. The story makes no sense. He didn't even have a gun. Was it one of those Berna impersonation of a cop? Maybe, but what WMD? What, the flamethrowers? That's one stern-looking woman. You ain't kidding. Oh. This outrageous story, a 13-year-old Maryland boy released on probation after raping 2 6-year-old girls, thanks to a recommendation from this demon rat. Ugh. Oh, man. Maybe forgot his gun? I don't know. It's crazy. Another lie from the mainstream media. Surprise, surprise. You ain't kidding. I told you, Jim, this is a psychological simulation. The truth doesn't matter. It's all framing. Yeah, I'm starting to think you're right. This demon rat right here. A Maryland teenager received a get-out-of-jail-free card despite his involvement in a violent sex crime, thanks to the intervention of a woke state demon rat. The state's attorney's office revealed that on June 29th, that 13-year-old has been released on probation with electronic monitoring, despite being found to be involved in a rape of 2 6-year-old girls in Calvert County. It's Islam in all its glory. Tim, I released the pedo's walls? No, I don't think this. I don't know. We're going to find out right now. They should make impersonation of a police officer illegal. That would have prevented that. Definitely. You know what? They might think about making murder illegal. That would solve a lot of stuff. They would just go ahead and make it illegal to murder people. I always had my blood pressure. Jim always has a blood pressure raising story. Well, nothing I can do about that. I can't make the news. I just report on it. A Maryland Ute. Yes. He's a good boy. He'll never do it again. Yeah, he's a didn't do nothing. He's one of those Aunt Jemima or Aunt Jemammies didn't do nothing muffin. So Calvert County State's Attorney's Office, which prosecuted the case, recommended the youth be placed in a secure out-of-home facility to receive treatment and counseling. While this was already an outrageously soft recommendation, what happened next is even more shocking. The teen was returned home where some of the abuse occurred. Make PDFs a capital crime. That would be a start. They passed that law in Florida. Yeah, we definitely need murder control laws. Yes, they need to make murders illegal. There is no treatment for PDFs. There's not. He just wears furry tails on weekends and May Day. Yeah. So the state's attorney released a statement. While the little girl victims no longer live in the home, they still reside in the same county. The case highlights everything that's wrong with the juvenile system. There's no accountability. Below is a video report on the case. Oh, God. You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? The boy that didn't do nothing American. That's right. Mr. Maryland Jr. Yes, Mr. Maryland Man Jr.
All right, Jasmine, thank you. Now to new details in a disturbing story that we broke here on 7 News last night. A 13-year-old was found guilty of raping 2 younger children. He didn't get time behind bars, but was sent home on probation with an ankle monitor. Under Maryland's juvenile justice laws, judges can follow the recommendations like this from the State Department of Juvenile Services. Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell first reported the troubling details yesterday.
Welcome.
Today,
Thank you
he's
for
seeking
being
answers
around
about
and for
how
your
the
support.
case was handled.
Calvert State's attorney Bob Harvey says he doesn't see many cases like this one in the county courthouse. A 13-year-old boy found guilty of raping 2 6-year-old girls.
If it was committed by an adult, it would have been a felony.
Which is why he's angry that the sentencing judge agreed with the recommendation of the State Department of Juvenile Services at sentencing to send the boy home on probation with an ankle bracelet for electronic monitoring. It is the mission of DJS to balance public safety with the goal of reform.
Well, thank you, Brian, for being here, and hope to see you tomorrow. Like I said, at least maybe 9 p.m. Eastern, but probably 10 p.m. Eastern. I don't know, but definitely the latest I will be starting tomorrow or tonight on Saturday evening for the 4th of July will be 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's the latest I will be starting. Yeah. What the F? Home is where they thought this was okay. Definitely. 44 mag is way cheaper. Yeah, and it's always cheaper. Definitely. 5,000 volts would be a good jump start. Yeah, definitely. Sounds like the ankle monitor is not the problem. Try another body part. Yeah, maybe a good old fashioned castration. Just take one. He'll learn. Yes. Only takes one time. Got the Marcus. What's up? Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, who monitors? Yeah. Probably take weeks for him to figure out he took the thing off.
Forming a child found delinquent. And while the judge makes the final decision on disposition, Harvey says DJS made the wrong recommendation in this one.
Of course, I'm hopeful that the necessary treatment and rehabilitation will occur, but I'm doubtful that it will. Any violations of his probation, failure to complete the treatment, it's going to be reported to the Department of Juvenile Services. Are they going to let the court know? Are they going to let the state's attorney's office know? Are we going to be able to do anything if this young man does not follow through?
No, you're not going to be able to do nothing.
That was Brad Bell reporting. A spokesperson for the Department of Juvenile Services says the law prevents him from discussing specific cases. Brad will be back at 6 o'clock with what the head of DJS says about balancing public safety and the needs of a young offender.
Wow. So, the one person Maryland public can thank for this fiasco is Betsy Fox Talentino, the Democrat-appointed Secretary of the Department of Juvenile Services. As WJIA notes that under Maryland juvenile justice law, judges can follow recommendations from the State Department. In this case, the sentencing judge agreed with the department's recommendation to send the teen home. Or not even teen, right? What is he? The juvenile home. Harvey expressed skepticism about whether the department would bother informing anyone if the teen decided to violate probation. So I guess they probably have that outright street fighting. Yeah. Let me guess. He's young and needs a second chance. Do the girls get another chance at not getting raped? Lock his ass up. Old enough to rape, old enough to get raped. He needs a shock jock, not an ankle monitor. Toxic empathy at work again. Yeah, toxic empathy. Yeah. The needs, he already expressed what he needs. Yeah. Dutton Ranch tonight was decent. Cool. Wood chipper trials are expensive. Yeah, wood triple. No, wood chippers. Okay, trials are expensive. Yeah, literally breaks your heart. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. Are we going to be able to do anything? Probably not. They're not going to even tell you. They're not going to tell you. That's the thing. They're not even going to tell you. And look at this. We got this. This is a little sample I thought I would give you first before tomorrow night's going to be, like I said, celebrations of the 4th tomorrow. Watch the Trump speech, probably some flyovers, the fireworks. And then we got a whole heaping of illegal alien crime to go through. We got several weeks of illegal alien crimes that I haven't really hit on in several weeks. Been over 2 weeks since I talked about them. So there's a little sample. There's a little sample right here. So a pedophile legal alien from Mexico working as a soccer coach in Tennessee pleads guilty to drugging the young boys on his team and raping them, filming it, and distributing it. Camilios Campo Hurtado is exactly why I support ICE deporting every illegal alien. Well, this guy should not be deported. This guy should be put inside a machine that takes the inside of his body and moves it to the outside of his body. Disgusting. Yes, deport every illegal alien.
Former Williamson County youth soccer coach pleads guilty today to child sex abuse charges. Camilo Campos Hurtado faces a minimum of 15 years in prison, all the way to life, after pleading guilty to charges including sexual exploitation of a minor. He was arrested back in 2023 after leaving his cell phone at a Franklin restaurant which contained child sex abuse pictures. Campos Hurtado is an illegal alien and will be deported back to Mexico after serving his time in federal prison. Former Williamson County youth soccer coach pleads guilty.
He should be deported off the fucking planet, okay? This is ridiculous. Off the planet. God, I can't even. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Yeah, taped to the busy end of a cannon. Yes, why not? Yeah. DEI, deport every illegal. That's the DEI I can get behind. That's the DEI I can get behind. Deport every illegal. Hello, Jim, and all my friends in the chat. Thank you for being here, Vince. Awesome to see you. You got to work tomorrow. Boo. Oh my God. Well, is he a soccer American? I'd like to kick his balls. That's for sure. Kick him right in the balls. That's for sure. Hey, Jen. Did I see? Anyway, I don't know. Elon needs test dummies. Yes, just have him hold this grenade for a few minutes. Definitely. I hope you get double time for that. Yeah. I mean, Ken, the stupid keyboard. I was going to say I was looking for a Jen. I'm like, I don't see a Jen here. I don't see a Jen. I just don't see one. And we got this, some more retarded Democrats. Hank Johnson says if the Democrats don't fight back and win the midterms, black people will end up back in the cotton fields. Do we have cotton fields still in the U.S. that people are picking cotton in? Because last time I checked, I mean, like the majority of the cotton that we're using in this clothes is coming from like Egyptian cotton and other places. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's still people picking cotton here. Maybe that's when my dad used to say, "Get your cotton picking hands off my clothes," or whatever. You know, like, oh, okay. They were worried about picking up the casings and cleaning blood, but not the holes in the trucks. We have the machines to pick the cottons. That's what I'm saying. We don't have people out picking the cotton now. I'm surrounded on all four corners by a cotton field, but there's not people out there picking it by hand. Machines mostly pick it. That's what I thought. I thought it was all done by machine now. But just so everyone knows, this is the guy who also said that Guam was going to flip over if more people were on there. Yes, that's him. He's the guy who thought Guam would tip over. Yes, maybe cotton for dollar bills. Maybe. So America's dumbest congressman is back. Hank Johnson, the guy who once suggested Guam could tip over if there's too many people there, is now saying GOP is waging a war on black people. They have very exclusive machines that do the picking now. Yes, you remember him? Yeah, I just said that, Jim. Yes. Mr. Guam. Yes. He also claims that Democrats don't fight back, that black people are going to end up back in the cotton fields. If we don't protect our children, we are worse than the ones that hurt them. Yes. Oh, crap. I forgot to. Hank Johnson is so stupid. Yes. I forgot to restart the goal on YouTube. Let me restart the goal on YouTube before we get too far for another hour. I believe we are $93 away still from adding an additional hour. Yes, 93 away from a second additional hour. So let me restart this goal. Start another goal. Let's see, $25 super chats for 1 hour. You know what? I'll do 10 yellows just because that makes it mad. Maybe people will think it's less if there's just 10 super chats for 1 hour. It's actually only 9, really, $9 and $3. So, which you know what? I didn't even look to see if anyone had said anything on Cash App or PayPal. Maybe I should do that first. No, nothing. Doesn't look like nothing on Cash App or PayPal. I'll start the goal and we'll go from there. One gets a tan out in the cotton field. Sinks by tipping over. Yeah, Guam. That's him. He's so stupid, he's smart. Yeah. So Johnson was speaking to Roland Martin, who used to be a host on CNN. I didn't get the PayPal yet. I have to reset my account as my wallet was stolen 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, KPT. I hope everything, you don't lose any money and no one robbed you or nothing like that. Yeah, so, you know. Growing cotton is very water intensive. As Democrats don't win the midterms, Black Americans will be back in the cotton fields. Isn't that like what Joe Biden said? If you don't vote for us, y'all gonna be back in chains. Remember when he said that about Mitt Romney? Oh, Jesus. Greg. I told you to come back tomorrow, Greg. Told you to come back tomorrow, Greg. He said it's a call. It's not a call to arms, but a call to protest. Although he did not specify, he's imagining wild and violent riots reminiscent of the BLM and Antifa protests of 2020. But many Democrats failed to properly condemn that. When I talk about fighting back, I'm not talking about taking up arms. I'm talking about taking to the streets. Johnson added that we're going to have to get out in November and vote. Like John Lewis said, like our lives depend on it, because our lives do depend on it this time. Oh, they say this every time. We want to hear it.
It's a GOP war on Black America. And if we don't stand up and fight back, we're going to be back in the cotton fields. And when I talk about fighting back, I'm not talking about taking up arms. I'm talking about taking it to the streets in protest, and also by exercising our precious right to vote. We're going to have to get out in November and vote, like John Lewis said, like our lives depend on it, because our lives do depend on it this time.
Yeah, they do depend on it. No, well, I mean, the country's lives depend on you guys losing, because you guys are trying to destroy this country. It's a little too close. There we go. So, yeah, weird stubbly beard. Yeah, the Dems are good at blinding black people. Yeah, you know, that's what they do. Are there cotton fields in Guam? I don't know. We can send them there. It's not a big deal. I just had to change all my credit cards and say goodbye to $160. That's horrible. You're repeating yourself, Greg, and wanting to be debunked again. Come on, do better. Yeah, well, he wants to just repeat the same crap. Yeah, just give us them and welfare to believe the lies. That's what they want to do. That's what they want. So yeah, so that's Hank the Spanker Johnson. Hank Spank Johnson. That's him. What is this? Here we go. Yeah, so this story, this is the first story. There's a two-part story here. This is a story in two parts. So we'll get into it. All right. It says New Orleans Kangaroo Court issues arrest warrant for the Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill after a grand jury indicts her on 16 felony counts for defending state law against rogue local officials. Wow. They're doing it again, folks. The radical left has completely weaponized the justice system. What are you doing, Bella? Why are you sitting all the way over there? Why are you sitting all the way over there, Bella? She's just chilling. I wonder what Wesley Hunt and Byron Donalds have to say to Hank. Probably nothing good. I picked weeds from 3 to 19 for Mama. That's good. Oh, he's here. Another one who wants to block me. Nah, no one's blocked you, Jet. You're cool. Everyone likes you. You probably blocked him because he's an idiot. Although as soon as I see him, I just yeet him out of here because So a grand jury in Orleans Parish, is deep Democrat-controlled New Orleans, handed down a 16-count indictment against Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill. Minutes after the charges were returned, an arrest warrant was issued and a bond set at a staggering $400,000. It's New Orleans that's corrupt. They're the descendants of the Frenchies. Yes. So Murrill, Republican, now faces 8 counts of malfeasance in office and 8 counts of public intimidation. Charges stem from a May 13th letters she sent to New Orleans Mayor Helena Moreno, District Attorney Jason Williams, and 5 city council members. In the letters, Murrill warned the officials that their attempts to circumvent a new state law merging the city's separate civil and criminal court clerks' offices could trigger serious consequences under Louisiana's usurper laws, including potential removal from office by Governor Jeff Landry. She also made clear that any interim clerk installed in defiance of the state law risked imprisonment. They were trying to defy state law and do their own thing. And she's like, you can't do this. It's state law. They were trying to do something. So the Louisiana legislature, working with the governor, passed a law to consolidate the long fragmented Orleans Parish court system. Because the court system in New Orleans is really screwy. What are you doing, Bella? What are you doing? Come here. What's wrong? Come on, lay down. Hey, that's my city. Well, I don't even need an immediate pardon because we're going to get to it. So we're going to get to it. This is a story in 2 segments, basically. If a mayor who thinks the governor's going to win, da-dum-dum. Yep, definitely. Yeah, raid. Yeah, from Ruby King. I know. I just went and did it. Thank you, Ruby King Raid, which I just went into their chat and did it myself. I don't think anyone's come on. Jim trying to start a rally with the $10 on PayPal. We'll see, maybe. Hey, KPT with 10 on PayPal. Thank you so much. There we go. That means, folks, we are now just $83 away from adding a second additional hour of show. Just 83 away. Just 83 away, folks. Rumble charge. Definitely. Charge, Rumble charge. Yeah, so that's where we're at. So the newly elected criminal court clerk, Calvin Duncan, was blocked from taking office. The goal was to fix the chronic problems in the most dysfunctional and crime-plagued court system in America. Under the new law, the civil clerk, Chelsea Richardson Napoleon, assumed duties over the combined office. Newly elected criminal court clerk Calvin Duncan was blocked from taking office. In response, the Democrat-led New Orleans City Council passed resolutions to install their own interim clerk, retired Judge Calvin Johnson, and call a special election directly challenging state authority. I did do this, right? 10? Yeah, we're down to 83, right? Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. A.G. Murrill did what any responsible attorney general should do. She sent formal letters, legal warnings, citing the usurper statutes and demanding compliance with state law. How to give memberships? You just click on the thing to give memberships away. There's a thing, it should be right there on next to the Next to the $sign that you think about give memberships, I think, on YouTube. Right there. No, same thing. You could just click on a $sign and it'll say membership gifting or other stuff. So to the New Orleans political machine, the New Orleans political machine didn't like being held accountable, so they held a secret grand jury process to indict her. This is lawfare, plain and simple. Louisiana Attorney General forcefully rejected the indictment, characterizing it as a politically motivated retaliation tied to her efforts to combat crime and corruption in New Orleans. After taking on violent crime and Trump corruption, it's no surprise the status quo is looking for ways to stop me. This unprecedented action and corrupt indictments spawned from it are retaliatory, meritless, and unconstitutional. After confidential information was illegally leaked to members of the press by the grand jury or the improperly appointed unqualified special prosecutor, there are now indications that the court handcuffed and locked out members of the media and threatened them with contempt in clear violation of Louisiana law. It is beyond ironic that the improperly appointed special prosecutor who called my office and violated the confidentiality of the grand jury proceedings herself claims protecting confidentiality justified closing the courtroom. And the grand jury that leaked the information like a sinking ship hardly seemed concerned about the privacy. If you're in a pop-out chat, the gift memberships are not there. You'll have to go to the panel on the same screen to get to gifting. Oh, I didn't know that. So I immediately will be filing an emergency supervisory writ with the Louisiana Supreme Court. I will not back down. I'll be enforcing the law, fighting corruption, and doing the job of the people. She filed emergency stay with the court. Greg Landry wasted no time in blasting indictment, pledging to pardon Murrow as fast as the law allows, if necessary. I'd like to inform the great citizens of Louisiana who care about the rule of law. Our fabulous Attorney General will not have to worry about having her reputation tarnished by this kangaroo grand jury or the Orleans Kangaroo Court, as I pardon her as fast as the law allows. The criminal justice system is a circus at its finest in Orleans, and we will not have any of it. That's what Landry said. So, and then this says, on that stupid judicial fiasco in New Orleans and what it could mean. Poor Itchy Bella. I forgot to give her any Benadryl today because I gave her a pill that's supposed to make her calm down because there was fireworks. So I don't know. I didn't want to give her Benadryl, but maybe I should have instead. I don't know. I think it's her ears again. I might have to give her a treatment in the ears. I think it's her ear infection coming back. She gets these bad ear infections. The former mayor and a police officer were doing like Fannie Willis and her prosecutor. Yeah. So if you didn't hear the latest this morning, the Louisiana Supreme Court issued a stay against yesterday's grand jury indictment of Liz Murrow. Less than 24 hours after being indicted, Murrow has been granted emergency stay in her case by the Louisiana Supreme Court. Murrow was indicted by a grand jury stemming from allegations that she sent threatening letters to elected officials, including Mayor Helena Moreno, District Attorney Jason Williams, and 5 city council members. Murrow was indicted on 8 counts each of public intimidation and retaliation. Her bond was set at $400,000, with $25,000 bond set for each count. Shortly after indictment, Murrow filed the emergency stay. On Friday morning, the motion was granted, with the court saying Murrow makes a compelling argument concerning disturbing defects in the grand jury proceedings and the trial court's handling of these proceedings. In a statement following the motion being granted, Murrow called the indictment a political witch hunt. I mean, this is basically what the left does, though. They're going to target people. It is not an allegation that Murrow sent letters to Moreno, Williams, and the 5 mental dwarves on New Orleans City Council who were trying to schedule an election to replace a duly elected and legally serving clerk of the court. She absolutely sent the letters. Except the threats Murrow was making weren't threats at all. She was explaining to them that Chelsea nurtured Napoleon, the elected civil clerk of the courts, who has nearly 4 more years left on her term, is, by dint of state law, now the clerk of court for the entire city. This was true because the state legislature passed a bill rolling the office of criminal clerk of courts for Orleans Parish into the civil clerk's office, and that change was validated by the state Supreme Court. Murrow also explained to them that what they were trying to do was illegal, specifically that Louisiana had a usurper law, which makes it a crime You can go to jail for if you attempt to throw a public official out of their job without legal cause. Calling an election to replace Chelsea Richard Napoleon and appointing an interim clerk of court to replace her in the meantime would fall within the definition of prohibited conduct in the state usurper law. It's kind of hard to figure out who the bad guys are. Well, no. Generally speaking, it's pretty easy. Just look next to their name. If there's a D, stands for bad. This really should have been the end of the issue, except the idiot clown car in charge of New Orleans, who when they're not supplicating themselves to the state in search of 9-figure bailouts, thanks to the city's colossal budget deficit for some reason, just didn't want to let it go. Somebody took one of the grand juries impaneled at the New Orleans Criminal Courts building and juiced them with the idea that Liz Murrow was violating state law against intimidating a public official. It's an absurd legal theory and hardly surprising that it didn't impress the state Supreme Court, but it did apparently impress Leone Roach, the judge overseeing the grand jury, such that he appointed Lori White as special prosecutor to handle Murrow's indictment. Who is Lori White? Well, here she is doing her best Norman Schwarzkopf impression on the states of the criminal court building. Well, let's see.
In the court system, should this be a criminal matter?
The grand jury has returned an indictment. It is now a criminal matter.
What do you say to how did the grand jury decide to investigate this?
On their own.
What do you say?
Which they have by authority to do.
Was it because of Mayor Moreno's post on Instagram?
I can't answer that.
What do you say to the governor calling this a kangaroo court that he plans to pardon?
So hold on a second. She said the grand jury did it on their own. What? The grand jury did it on their own?
The AG, no matter what. How did the grand jury decide to investigate this?
On their own.
What do you say?
Which they have by authority to do.
Was it because of Mayor Moreno's post on Instagram?
I can't answer that.
What do you say to the governor calling this a kangaroo court that he plans to pardon the AG, no matter what?
Well, good. Let's get her convicted and then he can pardon her.
What's
The grand jury put it in a grand jury indictment. You all can read it, and then the facts will fill it in.
What are the charges?
There's 16 of them. There's 16. I told you what they were at the beginning of this.
How much was the bond?
The judge set a $25,000 bond on each count. I think that's $400,000.
And so then there'll be an arraignment.
Of course, it's just like any criminal defendant that shows up at this courthouse. She'll be charged just like Susan Hudson, any elected official, or any other individual.
Now, I think that they might have charges to go after them for intimidation of a public official by what they just did. She should be disbarred. Definitely should be disbarred. Yeah. Let's try that again. She's a treat. Yeah. We got Lurch Linger for $8 on the Cash App. Thank you so much, Lurch Linger. That means we're now $75 away from a second additional hour. Thank you so much, Lurch Linger, for the 75. And I think I saw a Putty Tat. Yes, we had another 10 from Karen O. Thank you so much, Karen O. Another 10 on PayPal. That means we are now just $65 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Karen O. Yeah, that's a male, maybe. Ooh, she looks like the neighborhood Get Off My Lawn lady. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, info not updated for Membo. Please see our PayPal. Thank you so much, Karen O, for the 10 on PayPal. I got it. Thank you so much. We need public floggings for public officials convicted of corruption. Ain't kidding. Absolutely nobody believed the idea that the grand jury sua sponte decided they'd indict Murrow for sending those letters. That seed was planted by somebody, which is one reason why Governor Landry said in a statement that he was asking for an investigation into who it was. Would it be grand jury tampering? We'll leave that question hanging for now because apparently we'll find out. That would seem to be the direction the saga will move, and it's exceptionally unlikely the indictment of Murrow will outlive the Supreme Court stay. That, again, we're talking about New Orleans, which is the most rancid judicial hellhole this side of Philadelphia. A couple of things ought to be remembered here. First, if Lori White's name sticks in your memory, there's a reason. 3 years ago, she wasn't some lawyer hanging around waiting to be weaponized by Orleans Parish courthouse gang against the state. She was a sitting Orleans Parish judge, except she abruptly retired, and there's a story to that. Oh, what a story. There was a federal lawsuit filed against Lori White, which was dismissed on a technicality, but the facts of the case were uncomplimentary. It seems that White and her husband were into what might be termed as a freak nasty, and she was apparently propositioning the female employees of her court. Specifically, per a Grok search we did yesterday after watching girl boss Schwarzkopf give us her rather barky summation of the prosecution of Liz Murrell. In early 2023, filed around January, early February, former Orleans Parish Criminal District Court Secretary Emily Took sued retired Judge Laurier White and the court in federal court. The suit alleged sexual harassment and retaliation. This old bat judge needs to be tossed out. You ain't kidding. Yes, thank you for supporting the show. Key allegation in a lawsuit, Christmas holiday party in December 2021 held at White's home. White gifted Took, her secretary at the time, a revealing unwrapped satin bow teddy, lingerie item, plus makeup and peppermint oil, while other staff received non-sexual gifts. The suit claimed White and her husband had propositioned Took beforehand via text phone, pressured her to stay overnight with them, made comments about her alleged promiscuity, advised her to wear something sexy, and warned her to watch her drink. Took refused the advances and felt uncomfortable. A co-worker, court clerk Patricia Warren, drove her to the party. Took filed a sexual harassment complaint with the court's Human Resources Department days after the parties. She alleged White later belittled her publicly, called her lazy, promiscuous. She was fired in March, reportedly for recording a conversation, though the suit framed it as retaliation. Warren was also fired months later. She claimed it was partly for refusing to sign an affidavit supporting White. White attributed Warren firings to performance issued and a DWI conviction. White repeatedly denied the allegations of harassment and appropriate conduct, stating that claims were false and salacious. The court hired an independent law firm to investigate it. White said it cleared her of wrongdoing, though she claimed she never received a copy of the report, and the findings were not made public. So she had upside-down pineapples on her lawn. It sure seems that way. Watch her drink. Yeah, I don't understand what that means. Like, watch her drink, like, don't drink too much, or watch her drink, somebody's going to put something in it. I wonder if she learned a lesson about volunteering. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, White was a former judge, resigned under questionable circumstances, clearly corrupt. Yeah. Not long after the allegations surfaced, White retired from the bench. The rumor goes that she was about to go in front of the State Judicial Commission over her propositioning of employees. The state's Attorney General's office, which represent judges in matters involving her performance on a job, told her to go fish. And something happened which made Lori White decide to ply her trade in the private sector instead. It was a sexual harassment party. Or drank. Yeah, watch your drank. Except the complaint against her is still pending at the state level, and guess whose office is still representing her? You can't make this up. In her application to the Louisiana Supreme Court for a stay in the case, Murrell laid out the entire sordid fiasco. So, extraordinary irregular matter comes before the court, rife with conflicts and violations of law. Apparently, grand jury originally apparently impaneled ordinary course of judicial operations has been co-opted by political actors for political purposes. I got a speeding ticket in New Orleans, and my girlfriend worked at the Lakefront Marina at the time. Separate police officers, but friends working in both departments asked me to see the ticket. Yeah. What'd they do? They got rid of it? Mm-hmm. Oh, Rob said he couldn't do anything for me. When I went to trial, they couldn't find the ticket. Hey, what the F? What's up? I'll try to tell you. Watch your drink. Yeah. Classless and obnoxious. Who, me or them? Probably. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Oh, Jonah Finn, member for 1 month, says happy 4th of July, everyone. May your celebration be safe, fun, and stuff with great family, friends, and food. Yeah, stuff yourself with food. Don't stuff yourself with families and friends. Definitely them. For starters, the district court is a conflict due its role as a judge assigned to 38 cases involving prosecutions being handled by the Attorney General. To make matters worse, the entire proceeding only came to the Attorney General's attention to the leaks from the grand jury to the press. That was illegal. Indeed, by the end of the day, June 30th, the press knew more about this matter than the Attorney General. So she's taking Big Easy a little too literally. Yes, definitely. Finally, the special prosecutor's involvement is deeply infected with conflicts of interest because she's currently represented by the Attorney General through appointed counsel in a pending sexual harassment suit in the Orleans Civil District. She therefore has a personal financial interest in this relationship, which cannot be viewed as independent and unbiased. She has raised the issue herself when she made a phone call to the Attorney General's office the morning of July 1st, in which she disclosed confidential grand jury information and discussed her own representation. That, too, was illegal. So she's trying to basically use this against her. And do not stuff your family. Yeah. car was rear-ended in New Orleans. She had no insurance. We were visiting. And probably nothing happened. They probably just got away. Had to switch from popcorn to nacho cheese Doritos with cottage cheese. Lately, I've been on a fix. They had a big sale on those super pretzels. I got a bunch of super pretzels, and I've been eating super pretzels with nacho cheese. It's really good. The nacho cheese sauce, good sauce. So, upon information of belief, she's also actively representing criminal defendants and therefore not qualified to act as a special prosecutor. Lori White is also Calvin Duncan's lawyer for many years, although the Attorney General does not know what involvement she may or may not have had in involving his election to office of the criminal clerk. She certainly is not without bias as it relates to legislation that abolished his office and the position of the Attorney General regarding this matter, the very matter put at issue before this court. The Attorney General, moreover, has reason to believe, based on a phone call with Lori White to high-level staff members in the AG's office, that individuals from outside the grand jury may have engaged in ex parte legal communications with the intent to manipulate the grand jury for political purposes. Indeed, based on leaks to the press, it is clear that the grand jury has been talking a lot to whom must be the subject for later action. It's important to also note that the Attorney General has no knowledge of this matter pending before Orleans Parish Grand Jury until she was contacted by the press 2 days prior to the indictment being issued. It has become clear in the past 36 hours. The press, ultimately, members of the press have obtained confidential grand jury information. Confidential grand jury information can only come from two sources, the grand jurors themselves or the special prosecutor. In addition to being a crime, this breach of confidentiality impugns the integrity of the entire grand jury service. This breach not only taints this case, but every case the grand jury has touched. These conflicts and irregularities impugn the integrity of the entire grand jury proceedings from its inception and show that they always intended to use the criminal justice system as a weapon against the Attorney General. If this is allowed to stand, it won't stop there. No one is safe from such an abusive process and malicious prosecution. For these reasons and more fully discussed below, the Attorney General requests immediate stay of these proceedings to permit time to file appropriate motions and appeals. The criminal justice system should be held to the highest ethical standards and preserve the integrity and process of confidentiality in the system. The persistent politicization of the grand jury process and the use of this conflicted judge and unqualified conflicted special prosecutor undermine all confidence in the system. The indictment purports to charge the Louisiana Attorney General with 16 counts of violating the Public Intimidation and Malfeasance Office for sending letters. The letters were sent in her official capacity as the chief legal officer of the state, citing Louisiana law, warned of the remedies of the law prescribed, and advised truthfully and lawfully that she may be required to enforce the law. In other words, she explained that the counsel's illegal actions may prompt legal action from the Attorney General. That caution came on the tails of multiple. Poor Lori, her comeback lasted a whole press conference, and now it's back to salt mines or peppermint oil mines, as the case may be. But what of Leon Roche, the judge who presided over the brief but spectacular circus? What do we know about him? Well, for one thing, he's the cousin of State Senator Gary Carter, and the New Orleans Democrat who had temerity to call his colleague Jay Morris a racist for bringing the bill redrawing the state's congressional map after the Supreme Court said it was unconstitutional. Carter also threw a massive fit over a Morris bill, which eliminated the position of criminal clerk and started this fight. Morris had a third bill in this year's legislative session, which reduced the number of judges in the Orleans Parish Criminal Court. The bill was going to pass more arrests as Linton and would have eliminated Roach's position on the bench, but Carter prevailed upon Senate President Cameron Henry to change the criteria by which the judgeships were reduced, so Roach survived. And then Roach paid off his salvation by illuminating exactly why he should have been made redundant. His reputation as a judge, not the best. Landry called what happened to New Orleans yesterday at Kangaroo Court. He's hardly not wrong. That's right. Can we rally Jim? $5 gets us closer. That's right. We're 65 away, folks. 65 away. Got about a half hour or so to go. And while the idiot clown car, which runs the city, is furious that he used his line item veto to scrub a host of state projects in the Big Easy, the clown car's denizens are likely to get a lot angrier at what's coming thanks to this debacle. Let's remember that the state bailed out the city of New Orleans to the tune of more than $100 million early this year on terms that were pretty generous compared to what could have been imposed. Then the city took essentially a payday loan from Caesars Palace Casino, getting a one-time check for some 30 years of lease payments. Word has it, they'll come begging the state for another $125 million soon. When that happens, Marino and the city council's chair, J.P. Morrell, who have blamed New Orleans' financial woes on LaToya Cantrell, the former mayor, which is pretty cute given that Moreno and Morrow were on the city council more or less the whole time Cantrell was trashing NOLA's refinances and could have put a stop to it. Neither one of these two leftist fools can escape responsibility for the current situation. They'll have to explain to the governor and the attorney general and the rest of the state bond commission why the city shouldn't go under fiscal administration of the state. Ooh, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Or maybe don't bother trying because that's precisely what's going to happen, and probably for the best. When it does, they had better not complain. What Landry could and maybe should do is say that not one dime of Louisiana taxpayer money should be spent bailing out the city of New Orleans until Helena Moreno, J.P. Morrill, Jason Williams, and the other 4 idiots on the city council who tried to violate the state's usurper laws so they could get a pet clerk all resign. That would mean it might even occasion a second bite of the stupid indictment apple, this time against Landry. And maybe Lori White can make another peppermint oil-fueled appearance on the steps of the Kangaroo Courthouse on Tulane and Broad. Interesting. Let's see here. And we got some local news. Let's see. What's this say? This says Liz Murrow faces active arrest warrant despite the court stay.
At this hour, we've learned that there is an active arrest warrant for the Louisiana Attorney General. Liz Murrow's office says that the special prosecutor in New Orleans refuses to remove the warrant. Despite the Louisiana Supreme Court pausing the indictment, officials say that the AG filed another emergency appeal with a criminal district court and the state Supreme Court.
Well, that's basically that's basically them being like at some point just go arrest this supposed special prosecutor for violating the law. I would do.
The Louisiana Supreme Court says it's likely Attorney General Liz Murrow will succeed in dismissing the Orleans Parish grand jury indictment against her.
Gabby Kelly reports the state's highest score.
I think I got that one.
Court proceedings in the case.
An Orleans Parish grand jury charges State Attorney General Liz Murrow with public intimidation and malfeasance in office Thursday afternoon.
The things that went on yesterday and leading up to it were very sui generis, which means it's one of a kind, at least through my prism.
The charges stem from letters Murrow sent city leaders in May after Mayor Helena Moreno, District Attorney Jason Williams, and 5 council members supported resolutions Murrow argued violated state law. In the letters, Murrow cited a state law she says could allow her to remove the officials from public office. The Louisiana Supreme Court has issued a stay in the case, saying that a motion Murrow's attorneys filed had a compelling argument that Murrow could be successful in getting the charges against her dismissed.
As a former prosecutor, I'm angry to see this happening. This is not how we use the criminal justice system.
The motion filed Thursday by Murrow's attorney, Laura Canizero Rodrigue, lays out alleged conflicts of interest throughout the grand jury proceedings, including that the state attorney general's office represented special prosecutor Lori White. It also stated the judge overseeing the proceedings, Leon Roche, oversaw attorney general cases.
We have to now question the integrity of what's happening in the process of our grand jury investigation.
On Thursday, White called the case simple.
Very open and shut. Nothing difficult about it. It's based on the letters that the AG sent to 6 city council, 5 city council, the mayor, the DA, and Judge Johnson, and that's Calvin Johnson.
Fox 8 legal analyst Joe Raspani says the Supreme Court had to see good evidence to grant a stay in Murrow's case.
Some of the things that they said in their per curiam were the reasons you give a stay, and there's 4 of them, but one of them is irreparable harm, and another one is that the Attorney General's position is a position that would likely be successful.
Yes, thank you so much, Alicato Osborne. I got your 10. Thank you so much. And that means we're now 55 away, just 55 away from adding a second additional hour to the show, folks. We're almost halfway there to a second additional hour, everybody. Just about halfway there. Thank you all so much.
So that's a good sign for that side.
And the Supreme Court stay also said Judge Roche violated the law when he closed his court for the grand jury's return. When a reporter fought that yesterday, a deputy handcuffed him and his attorney before releasing them. The Orleans court released a statement and said that the secrecy of the grand jury is paramount.
Oh, so they lied.
It's 2026. Cars
They
can
lied
practically
because
drive
they
themselves.
they were
You can
leaked.
order
I was like,
groceries
what
from
is
your
going on? Why? What is going on? So let's see. Is there more here? So we saw this. Got another local report about this that we're going to check out. Stay granted.
Out of our capital that we first told you about last night. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrell's criminal case in Orleans Parish is now on hold. The Louisiana Supreme Court issued a stay today after A.G. Murrell was indicted by an Orleans Parish grand jury on Thursday. Louisiana First News political reporter Griffin Broussard tells us how it happened.
The indictment against Attorney General Liz Murrell has not been dismissed, but the case is paused for now. The Supreme Court stay gives Murrell time to file motions seeking to have the indictment thrown out. The indictment against Attorney General Liz Murrell includes 16 counts total, 8 counts of malfeasance in office and 8 counts of public intimidation. It centers around letters Murrell sent to New Orleans officials demanding they rescind a resolution involving the criminal and civil clerk of court offices. But today, the Louisiana Supreme Court halted the case, pointing to serious concerns about the grand jury's proceedings in the stay. The court said Murrell made a compelling argument about what it called disturbing defects in the proceedings. The court also said the indictment appears to turn the law on its head. After the stay was issued, Murrell released a statement thanking the Louisiana Supreme Court, saying, quote, "I'm grateful to the Louisiana Supreme Court for swiftly issuing a stay in this matter. The Constitution and laws of Louisiana impose a wide swath of duties on the Attorney General. I will continue to carry out those duties to the best of my ability," end quote.
And you would think the Attorney General of the state could charge them with like abuse. They're abusing their office. They're using their office for all these people. Start subpoenaing all the phone records. Get all the fucking phone records. To talk to who? Emails. Start questioning people. Start dragging them in. You go to talk to every one of these people on the grand jury. Find out who talked to them, who gave them this information. It's crazy.
Murrell also said the matter is not over and that she plans to file the necessary motions seeking a dismissal. She called the case a political witch hunt and accused the special prosecutor, judge, and grand jury of using the law as a political weapon. Governor Jeff Landry also responded, thanking the Supreme Court for halting what he called a circus and defending Murrell as someone he says was trying to uphold the law. So the big takeaway here, Murrell is still indicted, but the case cannot move forward at this time. The next step will be her filing motions to dismiss the indictment, including a likely motion to quash or throw it out. We will continue to follow those filings and any further action from the Louisiana Supreme Court. For your local election headquarters, I'm Griffin Broussard.
Wow. Everything about elections, huh?
Prior to the indictment and subsequent stay, Griffin spoke with Attorney General Liz Murrell about current events involving her office and the state. A.G. Murrell discussed Louisiana's congressional map, election lawsuits, and Planned Parenthood's return to Louisiana with a clinic in New Orleans. Now, abortion is currently legal in Louisiana, and Murrell says her office could take action if there is any indication that the organization is helping facilitate abortion pills being distributed illegally in the state.
Look, if we see any indication that that there is participation in facilitating the influx of illegal pills being distributed in our state, then I would take action. Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast was engaging in illegal, immoral, and medically unethical conduct that was proven. My concern with it would be if they continue to promote the illegal distribution of abortion pills in our state.
Now,
This is why they're going after her. This is why they're going after her, is because of the abortion shit. It has nothing to do with this. And that's my opinion. But that's my opinion. So, good. Well, we'll see what happens. This is fucking ridiculous. Kangaroo court shit. All these people involved, the mayor, all these civil people on the board, they all should be arrested. They all should be basically fucking New Orleans as corrupt as they come. Arrest them all. The judges, everybody. This special prosecutor, arrest them all. Arrest them all. Illegal pills. Yeah, illegal pills. In Louisiana, they are illegal. Abortion is illegal in Louisiana. Bella is finally sleeping comfortably. Yeah, she is. So Buffalo's Somali flag was stolen from City Hall as the mayor cancels the 4th of July fireworks, saying we'll have a display in August. We don't need one for the 4th of July. We're going to have it for August for something else. I didn't want to have them on the barge in the river because they're already doing that in August on the barge in the river. Abortion and work on a district mapping. Yep, definitely. Not long after announcing the city would not be going forward with fireworks to celebrate the 4th of July, Buffalo, New York had a Somali flag that was raised in front of City Hall stolen. Mayor Sean Ryan announced the theft on Facebook, writing, the city of Buffalo's flagpole in Niagara Square sustained damage after unknown vandals broke the access panel and cut the cable, removed the Somali flag. Why the fuck was there Somali flag flying over Buffalo? Yeah, according to SCOTUS, state law matters, not if it's via mail. Yeah, I don't understand that either. Like, because how could state law, because then that would mean that the state laws in like New York and California about shipping bullets and guns in the state, they have laws against that. That shouldn't apply then. You should be able to ship bullets into the states if state law doesn't matter when it comes to shipping things by the mail. This needs to be turned on its head and go after that. California, New York, all these states, Illinois, that refuse to let you ship ammunition by mail, which is completely legal. Around the West, they need to just start shipping ammo in and go, no, you can't do anything. We need to sue over it. Someone needs to sue over it, basically. Be like, no, and use that, the Supreme Court's thing about the pills, and say like, no. State law doesn't trump the mail. Sorry. A couple cities flew the flag, one in Ohio. Oh, Bella, you need to go outside. You're going to have to wait, Bella, a little bit. Vlad the Impaler has some great points. Definitely. So Ryan said the flag had been raised to heal international organization in honor of Somali Independence Day. But he won't have fucking fireworks for our Independence Day, but he's raising a Somali flag. How about this one? Illegal milk. What? The cartel is savage. You have a thought, raise a Somali flag in Somalia, get the fuck out of the government building. History teaches a new flag in existing lands means conquered by. Idiot New York. You ain't kidding. The flag poles are available for use for the public. Over the years, a variety of organizations have flown flags, including those representing Ukraine, Greece. None of these flags should be flown there. The Karen community is an ethnic group. Buffalo is a proud, diverse city. He said the city's police department is investigating the matter. The raising of the flag came just days before Americans marked their 250th birthday. Yeah, and they're raising a foreign country's flag who's been invading us and stealing from us like crazy. Minnesota needs an enema, but this is Buffalo, New York. A city confirmed on Tuesday the event would not be moved forward less than a month after Ryan had promised the event would take place. Fireworks displays everywhere are supposed to break records, but yeah, they're not going to do it. Not going to do it. Buffalo, Boston, Minneapolis, initially Columbus, but Columbus may not have planned it or got scared into not doing it. Okay. So the event was canceled because an appropriate site could not be identified to provide safe and widely accessible viewing experience for residents. That's a fucking lie. Ryan claimed that while the city hosts an annual New Year's Eve fireworks display, it hadn't held a 4th of July display in at least a generation. And then a pyrotechnics company that had been lined up by a restaurateur and philanthropist who agreed to pay for the show expressed concerns about launching fireworks near City Hall. Ryan said the firework vendor stated a real question about it. You know, when you put these fireworks up, canisters drop down.
We started raising real questions about, when you put these fireworks up, canisters drop down. And what they'll do them on the canal side, they're going to do them in the river on the barge.
And you couldn't do that?
I didn't want to do them on the barge in the river because we're already doing them August 2nd on the barge in the river.
I didn't want to do them for the 4th of July. This is your mayor, people. This guy should be, we need to bring back tar and feathering for politicians like this. Just saying. I'm not suggesting that you do it to this guy or anything like that. Just saying it would be nice to see it happen to some politicians that need it. These demon rats don't seem to have any problem with Antifa setting off fireworks in their government buildings. No. Yes, here comes more stupid. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. Oh. We got 17 minutes left, folks. 17 minutes left on the goal if we can get to $55. 55 away, 17 minutes. Last year, we watched the sheriff next door blow off 3 hours worth of confiscated fireworks. Just saying. August 2nd is a Somali celebration, right? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe it is. It's a Somali Day or something. Fireworks will be taking place in the city of August with the Buffalo Naval Military Park hosting an event recognizing the last day the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence. Okay, so they're saying they're celebrating the last day the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence. When asked why the city didn't do the same thing for the 4th of July, I didn't want to do them on the barge river because we're already doing them on August 2nd on the barge. So that's a statement. Just he didn't want to. Just didn't want to do it. Just didn't want to do it. It seems like when I share your stream to a lot of people, it messes up YouTube. Well, I don't know why it would do that, Lurchlinger. I don't know. Well, what is the definition of a cuck? Because I think this guy is one. Yeah, I think he is too. Tyrants wear oath on rope. That's what I'm talking about. My uncle was a reserve officer when I was a kid and would do the same thing on the 4th go-around during the day, confiscating fireworks to set off later at night. Oof. You guys smell that? Smell that? It smells like bullshit. Yeah, the butt plug might be a Rocket Man missile. Yeah. Oh, Fetterman. Ari Fetterman, only one. Yeah, Fetterman reveals the one thing that would make him leave the Democrat Party, the Demon Rat Party. During a recent appearance on Sean Hannity, he revealed the one thing that would make him leave the Demon Rat Party.
And now the one's the difference between me and other Democrats, we're a Democrat that's willing to call out these individuals and some of the absurd things that they have said and the kinds of beliefs they are. The one thing that absolutely is in common, just contempt for Israel, that essentially is becoming just rank anti-Semitism. The individual that just won in Colorado, she refused to describe the situation where someone firebombed a group of Jews that was just rallying for the Israeli hostages at that time and killed a woman. She refused to even address that. Is that anti-Semitic? So this is the point. And now there's that strong correlation. Anti-Israel, drifting into anti-Semitism, very, very intensely anti-American. And now just here, that individual also believes America deserved 9/11. And of course, Israel deserved the massacre of 10/7. That's been building. When I was on Jesse's show back in early May, I warned, I said the Democratic Party we're heading for an orgy of socialism. And now look, and here we are for these things. So these very specific.
The Democrat Party heading for an orgy. Why does that sound like a gross LGBTQ plus event that I don't want to see, smell, or hear? Yeah, only one thing. That's right. Telefrico, nobody wants him for a senator. Yes, let alone a babysitter, definitely. But he believes there's 6 genders. He's got to be voted in. Yeah. Fetterman will lose spectacularly his next election. He doesn't hate Jews. He's fucked. I don't know, man. I don't know. Fetterman might be all right. Just because I don't know. In Pennsylvania, you're going to have to wait and see. 10/7 wasn't broadcast on my television to this day. I have no idea what it was. Well, I don't know.
Specific kinds of candidates. These aren't my smears. These are using their own words and their own views and their tweets and the things that they've said and the way they've behaved. And then, of course, you have the king of the dirtbags of P. Hustle up in Maine, roughing up ex-girlfriends and spend a decade on the social media called Kick. That's been described as the predator's paradise for why people are on that kinds of platforms. So, as a Democrat, it's entirely appropriate to just call that out. I'm always happy to be on your show. You're not going to see me criticize or go after. We have some great candidates like Ossoff, Brown, and you have Tallarico. He's a nice guy, no matter what anybody would say thing. And of course, Roy Cooper in North Carolina,
Senator.
So these are normal Democrats. I don't know why we
Tallarico's
have
a
other
normal.
Democrats.
He just said Tallarico's a normal Democrat. Oh my God, Fetterman, you're lost.
Even people that are calling for their jobs in leadership, saying you're next. Why can't you just push back and say these are abhorrent beliefs? Communism, socialism. And now for me, what my real concern is, the Democratic Party is going to put it into the platform, is an anti-Israel party, that Israel does not have the right to defend itself and to exist. And the second that becomes a formal part of our platform, and that's the one thing that would push me out of this party, because I'm deeply alarmed the way the Democratic Party is going after Israel and allowing to just rank anti-Semitism to flourish, in the left on the campuses as well too.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow, that is crazy, man. That is just crazy. Wow, crazy, crazy, crazy. I can't believe that stuff's going on. That's nuts. So, but how can he call Talarico a normal Democrat? That don't make no sense to me. What's this here? We got the AC Wars. The French right-wing nationalist rally promises air conditioners for the people, while the globalist parties only offer long-term climate solutions to the heat season. That's not going to work out. AC Wars. Maybe normal isn't the right word. Typical was better. Yeah, you can't call them a normal. Talarico Motors is a dealership in New Hampshire. Paxton's a little dirty, but Talarico is the devil. Yeah. That's the problem. Talarico is a normal Democrat. Yeah, he is. Roy Cooper is trash. Yeah. Maine is already hosed. That's where Uber Rhino Susan Collins is from. Yeah. It's too soon to name the plus. Okay. Trojan horse and sweatpants. Yeah. The normal Democrat is the one that had the stroke. Go figure. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't think Susan Collins is going to lose in Maine. I mean, none of the polling actually puts Dude ahead of her. Like last time she ran, they said the woman who was way popular, like way better name recognition, more popular than this guy. They said she was beating. They said she was beating Collins by like 5 or 6 points, and Collins ended up winning by like 8 or 9. So Talarico is pure demon energy, definitely. Yeah. We can give their vaccine protesters plane tickets. Let Bibi deal with AWOL IDF. I don't know. Fetterman is like a broken mechanical clock. Gets it right once in a while, but it's wrong most of the time. Yeah. So as Europe lives through another hot summer by bitching and moaning constantly, some countries are suffering more because of the refusal to adhere to air conditioning like all level-headed countries do. Collins is a swamp. The machine protects its own. Case in point, this week reports have arisen that French right-wingers are promising air conditioners for the people now. This is generating a pushback by the established parties, slaves to Brussels' suicidal globalist policies, who can offer only illusory climate solutions. Just illusory climate solutions. Mm-hmm. A stop clock is right twice a day. Mm-hmm. How about neither then? Well, I don't think we have a choice. It's just the two of them running. I don't think that's an option. Yeah, but I'll allow it. Yeah, if there was a way to have neither, I would allow it. So France is baking the heat. People are begging for air conditioners. The environmental minister is horrified by the request because of climate change. Her own ministry, of course, has AC running just fine. Europe's green agenda in action. You suffer, but we don't.
Je vais vous dire les choses comme je pense. Je suis horrifié par tout ce que j'entends.
Yes. No, you cannot have air conditioning. It's terrible. It's horrible. You can't have it. No, you can't have it.
Partout.
Climate. You cannot have air. You cannot have air. Oh my God, it's crazy. So, National Rally lawmaker Jean-Philippe Tanguay will unveil a proposal on Tuesday to install air conditioners in millions of public and private buildings. Yes. What's this? Which vaccines are you referring to? Actual vaccines do exist and have saved many lives, and COVID vax ain't one of them. When you have to change the definition of a word for it to fit. Maine doesn't have write-in candidates. I don't know. Hey, Libby, what's up? Great to see you. I'm going to invest in some AC companies to sell units in Europe. The pitch is not exclusive to France. All across Europe, air conditioning is becoming a new political battleground and occasionally even a culture war debate as officials grapple with how to adapt to aging infrastructure and debilitating heat as climate changes. Shoppers in France smash open supermarket doors in a mad dash to get their hands on air conditioning units amid a heat wave. I mean, I don't understand. Why don't you just buy them? Look at this. Give us the air. Give us the air conditioning. Give us the air. Give us the air.
Those doors never had a chance. A large crowd gathered hoping to snag one of the air conditioners for sale at a Lidl supermarket in a Paris suburb. With record-breaking heat last week and another heat wave on the way, air conditioners are in high demand. Only about a quarter of the homes in France have air conditioners. Another heat wave will develop in Western Europe beginning this weekend, especially in France, Spain, and Portugal. It will then spread into parts of the UK and Central Europe later next week, and could last into the following week as well.
I mean, the store in France announced discounts on all air conditioners and fans, which sparked a massive crowd of people. Oh, wow. Okay, so this looks like almost like a Black Friday event. Look at people fighting. Oh, look, wait. You see people fighting on the ground and fighting over stuff. Wow. Mon Dieu. I wonder how many French people were in that video. I see somebody. They look very French to me. Very French. Cash Jordan did a piece earlier on Man Dummy and the New York City power outage while City Hall in Hailula office did not turn down their thermostats. Yeah. We are decades ahead of Europe by decades on these things. Luddites. Yeah. Is this a Walmart Black Friday event? It's Black Friday in France. Yeah. Happy Independence Day. I made a special short to celebrate. Well, that's awesome. Look at them fighting over air conditioners. Oh, yes. We think it's funny. Oh, yes. Oh, it's so funny. Attacking people. Oh. Wow, even in France, it's the usual suspect. Even in France, it's the usual suspects. Wow. Chaos in France as people rush to buy air conditioners. Wow. Crazy. So historic heat wave sweeping France. Yeah, what do you know? Like it's gonna get hot in the summertime. What do you know? Oh, those look like those are just some fans. They're just fans that probably have water or something. Need a fan. Ventilated fan. Extremely powerful refreshment fan. They just have fans. That's a fan don't do shit but blow. I mean, it might help a little bit. You spray some water or something, I guess. I don't know. Seems dumb. So let the anti-climate ideology die of heat in their homes if they want, but let them stop thinking about half of the French people. In France, the National Rally, which represents repeatedly voted against measures meant to slow climate change, is pushing AC with an open eye towards April's presidential election, when the party will have its best shot for taking power. And it's a globalist talking point. We want people to have the same air conditioning rights that the elites has. It's shameless electioneering. Socialist French politician gets nuked after blaming Americans for deadly heat wave in her country. All these fucking idiots, man. A dim-witted anti-American French socialist is getting destroyed for giving one of the dumbest takes possible. Yeah, it's crazy. Then we got the shit going on here. They don't have Amazon in France. I don't know. They probably would steal them all anyway. I read a report, at least one report online, that 90% of the babies born in Paris have sickle cell. Well, that's weird. Ninja Warrior AC edition. Yes. I think I had this already. Let me see. Madami's New York City Con Ed shuts off powers to 10,000 customers in Queen as temperatures soar. No, that's a different one. America, the best experiment of all. Yes. Why don't people have AC in France? They people don't believe in it. They like smelling bad. They smell bad. They like smelling bad. Oh, Bella's back in her bed. Folks, we're getting close. We're getting close. We're getting close to running out of time. Any idea where Rekida's been? Rekida is in Washington, D.C. for the 250th. He got invited to some stuff there. He's there. Bronca's there. And so that's where Rekida is in D.C. So Con Edison has cut power off to 10,000 customers in Queens, New York on Friday as temperatures soared over 100 degrees. Wow. Sounds like Mandummy's comedy plan is working exactly as expected, poorly. I stayed in a hotel in Versailles. They had AC. Oh, the hotels do. Hey, Jim, did deodorant stock rise or antiperspirant rise or neither in France? Now, they don't use it. Count Dankula's there, too. Yeah, Dankula's here. There's a bunch of people there. Branca's down there, Ricada, Robert Cavea. So this is after the communist mayor urged New York City residents to raise their thermostats to 78 degrees to alleviate the strain on the grid. Lisa Eder says, yes, more deaths due to heat than those who died of gunshots in the U.S. Ideology is climate change. Yes, more people die in more people die in Europe and maybe even England. Like a lot of people die over heat. So Con Ed pulls the plug on 10,000 customers in Howard Beach, Ozone Park, Richmond Hill, and South Ozone Park as power demand soar with temperatures pushing 100 degrees. Wow. It gets even worse. 500,000 customers are being urged to reduce their electricity use while the Con Ed crews make repairs. Power was out in New Jersey too. Wow. Yeah, he's supposed to be hooking up with Gavea. He was with Branca, hanging out with Branca, and then he's supposed to be hooking up with Gavea. Why did Mandami turn off the electricity? I don't know. Maybe those people didn't vote for him. That's how he treats. That's how communists treat people that they don't like, is they turn off their electricity, do stuff like that. Per 4 News, New York Con Ed cuts a voltage by 8% across the Bronx. Wow. Westchester, Queens, and Brooklyn under soaring demand. 500,000 customers are being urged to slash electricity. Wow. Con Ed's asking customers in certain neighborhoods in Brooklyn and Queens to conserve energy while companies repair equipment. Con Ed's also reducing voltage by 8% in the areas. Well, I don't understand why are they having problems? Why don't they have the power? What are you talking about? But they said everybody should be electric. Remember they said, Joe Biden and all them said everything has to be electric. No more gas. Didn't Newark tell everybody no more gas? No more gas anything. Everything's got to be electric. Huh, but they don't have the electric to handle it. Huh. Yeah, something's not making sense. Yeah. Yeah, because he's a dictator and Taylor Swift will get her wedding. Well, that's what they needed the power for Taylor Swift's wedding. My power is out in a Detroit suburb. Well, that's not good. You need to go out, Bella? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So Democrats don't wait. What? Wrong thing. So Bella's just standing there looking. A tornado did touchdown in New Jersey. New York State shut down a nuclear power plant that was 34 miles outside of New York City in 2021. It was celebrated by leftists, all of whom are curiously silent now. It's crazy. So equipment problems and all this other have no effect on the rest of the Con Ed system. Con Ed has asked customers in areas to use energy-intensive appliances such as washer dryers and microwaves until crews complete the repairs. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Wow. I don't get it. I don't get why all this is happening. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make no sense to me. It really doesn't. I don't get it. Don't get it. Don't get it. Don't get it. Well, okay. Well. I suppose when you think about it, Power rationing is the modern breadline. Yeah, it could be. It's crazy. Subway's closed too. I have a pool. It's almost 1 a.m. and still 81 degrees, and I'm chilly. In July 2026, the sun experienced multiple solar flare eruptions, including 10 M class within a 24-hour period, which are expected to create conditions for aurora visible across the U.S. Yeah, it's crazy. There's been a lot of solar flares, a lot of stuff happening. Yeah. Anyway, everybody, we did not hit the goal for the second hour. So unfortunately for everybody, including me, I think that's going to be it for this evening. I want to thank everybody who was here. Please remind you to hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And come back tomorrow night. Sometime prior to, at the latest, 10 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to have a show. It'll hopefully be a long show tomorrow night. We'll watch some of the fireworks in Washington. We'll do a bunch of illegal alien crimes. We'll not do the crimes. We'll cover a bunch of illegal alien crimes and other stuff. And we'll Trump's speech and other whatever. We'll do a bunch of good stuff tomorrow. It'll be a lot of fun. Maybe before 10 p.m. Eastern, but at the latest 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. At the latest tonight, Saturday. At the latest 10 p.m. Eastern. All right. So just please come back. Tell your friends. And thank you all. Yes, a red, white, and blue show. It's going to be a great show. So thank you all for being here. Please hit the like. Please subscribe. And please come back so Jim can tell you the news.